Hello, and welcome to Does It Roll, the brand new RPG Twitch channel from the makers of How We Roll and God's Fall. Over the next few months, we will be taking you through a huge variety of games and events with some amazing casts. My name is Joe Trier, and I am honoured to be GMing the first game for Does It Roll. Tonight, we are playing the Call of Cthulhu scenario, The Code, by Christopher Lackley and Lynn Hardy. Now, I'm sure you all know that Call of Cthulhu is all about mysteries. And this mystery starts early on in 1924, let's say January, when a tenured physics professor named Dr. Kenneth Connelly, of the Miskatonic University no less, took early retirement to work on a secret project. No one really knows the details, no one knows why he'd give up such an esteemed position, but he disappears off the map. None of his family or his friends hear from him in over a year. Then, out of the blue, comes an enigmatic telegram. Let's see what that telegram said.
I have done it! I have made the greatest scientific discovery of all time. But I need your help. Please come Friday, April 3rd, 5 p.m. to Wellington Manor, Hampton, New York, 12853. It is of utmost importance. Kenneth Connelly.
Now, let us move on to April the 3rd. It's a Friday, a bright and sunny morning. And let's zoom our camera in as a bright red Buick heads off from Miskatonic University towards Hampton, New York. In that Buick are our first two characters. Behind the wheel is Niall's character. Niall, do you want to tell us a bit about who you're playing tonight?
So tonight I am playing a character called John Roy, and he's a bit of an older man. He's 62 years old, not far out of retirement, also a professor in the Miskatonic University of the engineering department, actually. He was a friend of Kenneth while he worked in the college. And an acquaintance of Charles Keane, who is my other colleague here. Curran?
Oh, yes. My character is called Charles Keane, and I am a professor of physics at the University of Miskatonic University. Yeah. And then I've also received this telegram. I was really rivals with Kenneth Connelly, so I really hope that whatever he's found is really not that good, but we'll see.
And as the road passes by and you manage to make it out of the traffic and head off into the country towards Hampton, you realise you've got a full day of journeying ahead of you. What do you talk about? How does this scene start?
So it's it's strange that he's just reached out to us all of a sudden. Have you heard from Kenneth at all since he retired?
Not for many years now. It's been quite a few years, especially since he's retired. And I just got this telegram out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Very unusual.
Same as I got a letter from him.
A letter?
About 2 weeks back. Yeah, it's there in the door if you want to take a look at it. It confused me, but I kept it anyway. Even though he asked me, you can take a look at it there. And
as Charles Keane looks at the letter, let's see what it said.
March 14th, 1925. My dear friend, I hope this letter finds you well. I know we haven't spoken in quite some time, but my research has led me to some strange discoveries. I'm sending you this letter as a safety precaution. I am not sure when or even if this letter will reach you, but I must ask a rather bizarre favor of you. I need you to memorize this code. F194-7L-507L. Once you have memorized it, burn this letter. I cannot have it falling into the wrong hands. Mention to no one that you know this code. I'm sorry I cannot explain further, but the less you know, the better. Please do not forget this code. It could be a matter of life and death. If all goes well, you'll never have to use it. Yours, Dr. Kenneth Connelly. P.S. Don't trust Elizabeth or her brothers.
It's a very unusual letter indeed. It's very Very suspicious. I wonder
Do you-
why he sent it to you and not anyone else. I mean, we may have been rivals, but if he's inviting us by a telegram, I thought he'd definitely give it to me.
Sorry about that.
Busy
yeah.
traffic outside.
Yeah. That was
They're
me speeding
flying
up.
down the
That was-
motorway.
Yeah, me speeding up the car there. Yeah, I know it was odd, and I didn't burn it like he asked. I wouldn't remember that code, first of all, and it just kind of seemed kind of outlandish. I don't know. Do you know who Elizabeth is? Have you ever met an Elizabeth that was an acquaintance of his?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I think this. Why would he want you to burn it, though? I don't understand.
You know, I don't know. He's eccentric about some things, but yeah, like I just felt like I should hold on to it. I didn't like the idea of burning it. Like, first of all, I probably wouldn't have remembered that damn code he gave me. Other than that, well, I had to show it to someone else eventually, and now it seemed like the right time to show you anyway. I know you were
Yes,
rivals.
so you
but
show it to his old rival. Good job.
I know you were rivals, but you generally had a good insight in what he was thinking a lot of the time. So.
It's fair enough, yes.
Okay, let's switch the cameras. So as you kind of consider this enigmatic code and wonder to yourselves who Elizabeth might be and who her brother might be, you carry on south. Hampton is in the middle of a heavily forested region, lush and green. However, as you approach the town, a light veil of mist descends, ghost grey in colour, and, in the weak afternoon light, rain begins to fall, showering your windscreen and obscuring your view. Hampton itself is a tiny town, no more than a few buildings, and at the far end, a rough general store. And as your vision becomes more and more obscured, you notice that parked outside the general store are two vehicles, one particularly unusual, extremely lush and expensive and out of place. The other vehicle, well, Owen, do you want to tell us about the vehicle you're driving and about your character?
So Jack Connelly, salt and pepper kind of floppy mop of hair in his head, strong jawline, thick dark eyebrows, and a deep kind of sallow golden skin. So looks quite well for his age. His car, on the other hand, which is probably about 10 years old, like, is very much a second, third hand car, whatever his modest wages from acting could get. Functional, but not exactly the prettiest car.
And Duncan, driving this lush automobile, tell us a little bit about your character.
Well, my character's not really driving, because that's far beneath a man of his status. This is Richmond Green, a gentleman from England who is involved in this situation. He's invested a large amount of money, you see, and he wants to see a return on his investment.
Well, these two strange characters are chatting to an older fellow, a man dressed in rough work clothes, dungarees, and a mouldering brown shirt, and he seems to be giving directions. This man is Clem. He owns the general store, and he's saying to your character Owen, Jack Connelly, "Yeah, well, it's great to see you all here. It's rather strange, though. You're not the first people to be heading up to Wellington Manor. No, siree. It's a busy place today."
What do you mean, not the first people to be moving to Wellington Manor, or to go to Wellington Manor?
Well, you say you're the third. No, yes, the third person today to ask me directions to Wellington Manor, and this man here, pointing to your character Duncan, he's the fourth, and I'll bet you bottom dollar that these two floating up here, I bet they're on the way to the manor as well. Very, very strange.
You're not going to the manor from the south of America by any chance, are you?
Oh, no, not me. I mean, Manor's strange place. I mean, I remember when, Dr. Connelly's father, he used to be a good friendly sort, but his oldest son, he's been a rather recluse. I mean, actually, you look a bit like him there, young man.
Yeah, that's my egghead brother. He's I don't know if he's a recluse. He's just, you know, how these intellects are. He just likes time with his own thoughts.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not seeing him in 2 weeks now. But I saw his groundskeeper, his helper, the William. He was down here this morning picking up some goods.
What goods? What was he picking up? Like, does he normally come and pick up goods for my brother, or does my brother come down here?
Oh no, I'd not seen really met him before. He popped by. Well, this morning was the first time, to be fair.
Oh,
Just
okay.
food and things. He picked up some bread and he'd ordered some things from New York.
And the first two people that were going to the manor?
Oh, a young lady. She'd driven down. Oh, I can't remember where she said, but young lady. Oh, she was very nice. Yes, very nice. And another man. Looks a bit like those fellows in the car over there. Had a big moustache, very serious looking. Said he'd driven down from the MU, Miskatonic University. He said.
Probably some of his Brainbox friends, I guess. I mean, he's some big event he wanted us all to attend.
Oh, well, maybe. Anyway, you watch yourself. We've had some very strange weather, and he sort of leans in a bit closer and goes, some really strange things in the woods for the last 2 weeks. Odd noises in the night. Yep. Anyway, you've got your directions. Off you go, my friend.
Thanks. I guess. And clearly, Jack just thinks this is a crazy person who's been huffing gas fumes for too long.
So Clem sort of wanders over to Duncan's car. Would he? Are you still in the car? Are you going to leave this to your chauffeur? How would you manage this?
So we've pulled up looking for directions, I guess. And at the sight of the approaching man, Richmond will wind his window down and lean out and speak to him. Now, Richmond's very well dressed. He's wearing tweed, obviously. He's got a flat cap on and has a very well cut moustache. But he's an older gentleman, so his hair is very much grey to white. And he leans out and, I say, old boy, we're looking for a spot of directions. Do you think you can help out?
Oh, well, of course. You've got a strange accent there. You from France?
Oh, no, sir. No. Far superior to that. No, I'm English, don't you know? And I'm looking for directions for a Connelly house, a Connelly manor. Is that up this road?
Oh, well, if you follow that man there in the that old vehicle, he's heading there right now. You'd be the fourth person to ask for it today. Very strange.
Fourth? Goodness. And you say after this man just here?
Oh, yeah, just the one driving away now.
Then forgive me, old boy. I fear we're going to have to get going. Hey, for your trouble, and he hands you a sum of money as a little tip. And Parker, drive on.
Very
after that car.
Amazing. And so you head off out of the driveway, leaving Charles Keene and John Roy to face off with the friendly Clem, and who's standing in the increasing rain, waiting for you to, I guess, wind down a window.
I'll roll down the window. Hello, sir. Do you know where the Connelly Manor is?
Well, of course, yes. These two chaps who've just left, that's where they're heading. You'd be the fifth person today to ask, but may I just ask? It's just a strange thing. Why are you all heading up there?
Well, we all received a very strange telegram saying that he'd completed something and that we really must come and see immediately. So it's really quite exciting. We really must be going. But yes. Has anything happened over the past couple of weeks?
Funny you should mention that. Been very strange. And as you can see, and he sort of points to this sort of layer of mist, which is unnaturally sort of hovering at the sort of just below the where the car meets the wheels. This mist has been around, and as I was just saying to the other bloke, the sounds at night have been very strange. And I swear I saw last night I heard a sound outside my window and saw a creature. You're not going to believe me, but I could have sworn it was an alligator.
Well, you are correct. I do not believe you. But thank you very much for the direction, and we will be on our way.
Well, good luck to you. Watch out for the storm. I don't think anyone cleared the road in the last winter. Drive safe.
All right, bye-bye.
I pull out and drive up, following the other two cars.
Excellent. So, Wellington Manor is tucked into the deep woods of Washington County. And as you drive upon the disused track through the gnarled and tangled trees beneath a charcoal sky dark with the promise of storms to come, you wonder what you've got yourselves into. After around 20 minutes, you see a large Georgian manor appearing ahead. A dilapidated building of crumbling brick, decaying and forlorn, in the perpetual shadow of the encroaching forest. Jack Connelly, this was, well, maybe not your home growing up, maybe a summer retreat, somewhere that you know well. But as you approach, you realise that it really hasn't been kept well. And you feel sad for the sort of lost memories of your childhood. You're the first to drive into the round driveway. To your right, near the house, there are two cars parked. To your left, near a dilapidated, old, battered stable, there is a car and a pickup truck. You don't recognise any of these cars. Behind you pulls up the incredibly expensive car and the other car, probably more similar to your own, the old Buick. And as you all brake, the heavens open up, and above, as the turbulent clouds ooze and billow, a bolt of lightning cuts through the sky, and the rain begins to pour.
All right, well, I guess we better get going in. Can you give me back that letter? I don't want to leave it in the car. I really want anyone else to have their hands on it either.
Well, certainly, yes. Here we go.
I stuffed the letter into my pocket. I open up the car, get out, and move towards the front door of the manor.
You can just hear me mumbling under my breath. 7194, F194.
I just shake my head.
Yeah.
Move on.
Okay, so Jack Connelly, you will reach the sort of like a veranda, like you step up onto a flat area before the door, and it would be covered, but unfortunately the roof above you has not been well kept, and it's dripping through, and an icy cold drop of rain lands right down your neck.
Just kind of mutter under my breath and curse, saying, "Gotta speak to Benjamin about this. That's not good enough." And I'm assuming I've kind of got to the front door at the same time as the two professors.
Two professors are a bit behind, but Duncan, your character, Richmond Green, will jump up onto the step if that's what you wish to do, right after Jack Connell.
Absolutely. So far, Parker has opened the door for Richmond and handed him an umbrella as he stepped out, and he is smartly walking towards the house with his cane in hand and starts to ascend the steps. Good afternoon.
So Jack will take off his flat cap, kind of shake off the rain out of his hair, hold out a hand. Jack Connelly, I'm Kenny's brother.
Mr. Connelly, it's a pleasure to meet you. So, as brother, you say?
Yeah.
Simply marvelous.
Who are you? Why are you all here?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I must introduce myself. I am Richmond Green. I am from Green Estate in Oxford, and I'm here to speak to Kenneth. We have some matters to discuss. I had a telegram, you see, saying I must arrive. Do you have any ideas about what's been happening?
No, I got a telegram as well. I'm gonna take out this crumpled bit of paper that's in my hand, kind of raindrop soaked, saying it just said to come. He'd some big discovery, but why is some Brit coming all the way from Oxford for some pendulums and silly physics experiments my brother does?
Oh, well, I'm not entirely sure why he's asked me here, but I did want to speak to the chap because I've not seen him for quite some time, you see. And, you see, the issue is I've invested quite a lot of money in what he's been doing. And, well, I'm a man of interest. I like to see what he's up to and perhaps to find out what he's been doing.
A lot of money, you say. Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, old boy. So this is Wellington Manor, you say? Goodness, it's a bit of a state, isn't it? It's not standing up to the name of the good man himself. Of course, I refer to the good Duke. You know of the Duke?
Sure, the Duke. Marmaduke,
Yes.
right?
Yes, indeed. And he was involved in the Battle of Waterloo, don't you know? I had an ancestor there. He was unfortunately slain in battle. His horse fell under him, poor brute. Real shame, really. Had many other fine breeds in Hampton. But anyway, let us knock on the door, shall we?
Yeah. Let's get in, Richie. Nice to meet you again.
And as you do knock upon the door, the two professors come up behind you, and as they're about to speak, the door is swiftly open. You are met by a tall, broad-shouldered man with rugged good looks. He is dressed in rough work clothes and has very, very closely shaven, light brown hair. He introduces himself. Why, hello, gentlemen. Mr. Connelly. Mr. Roy, I should say Professor Roy. Professor Keene and Mr. Green, if I'm not mistaken. I'm so glad you could make it. In fact, I believe Professor Connelly himself will be incredibly happy to see you all. He has asked me to show you to your rooms to freshen up, and when you are feeling ready for company, the other guests will meet you in the drawing room for some light refreshments.
Do I recognize this dude?
You absolutely do not.
Who the hell are you? And where's my brother?
Me? And he stands up a little straighter, and you do see the kind of muscles rippling below his tight shirt. My name is William Feller. I've been hired by Professor Connelly to tend the grounds and perform a few light chores around the house. He's a busy man, don't you know? Your brother, I believe.
Yeah, he's real busy with his little science kits and stuff. You were down at that weird general store. We heard all about you. Like, you couldn't pick up some lozenges?
Oh, well, unfortunately, my voice has been like that since the Great War.
Since I was 7.
That's where
I thought I was going.
I was just picking up a few live refreshments for Dr. Connelly's guests. Why don't you come in out of the rain, the 4 of you? Can't be pleasant being out in such unusual weather. And the weather is unusual. It is April, but it feels much more like the middle of winter. The rain is ice cold. And as you turn around, it's only 5 o'clock. It is looking dark out, and the mist has almost entirely blocked the road back to the town. Come, follow me. And as he turns to the house, you realize he is holding up an old-fashioned lantern. Its flickering light barely illuminating the likely once grand foyer of the house. And as you cross the leaf-strewn threshold, you really are given the impression of abandonment and squalor. William's lantern barely illuminates the gloom as he leads you through the, shadowy and broken foyer towards an ancient grand staircase which spirals up. I'd like one of you to give me a spot hidden roll as you make your way through the darkness. In fact, let's all give spot hidden rolls.
Okay.
Who's going first, guys?
I can roll first. I'll roll first. Give me a second. There we go. I rolled a 83. I don't see anything.
The darkness is turgid. Jack Connelly, why don't you come next?
So versus a 40, I rolled a 43. Can I hold up. I was going to spend 3 luck, but I only... So for those who don't know, on my Twitter, you'll see I rolled 15, which is the lowest luck you can get in game. I'm going to use the 3 luck.
Okay, so we're down to 12 luck. You pass. You will notice something. Charles, Curran, do you want to tell us what you got for your spot hidden?
Oh, now? I rolled a 3 against 30.
Wow, fantastic! And last of all, Richmond Green. Let's see how you rolled.
Very well. Oh, no, just failed. I was aiming for 45.
Okay, so Jack Connelly, with your success, you noticed a door to your right. Now, there are numerous doors off this grand foyer, but a door to your right, which you know to be the drawing room. You notice a slither of light coming from underneath, and you can also hear the low sounds of conversation. You definitely hear at least one woman's voice. Professor Charles Keene. Are you a professor or a doctor or both, or what do you prefer to be referred to as?
Professor. Yes, sorry.
Professor. So, Professor, with your extreme success, you also notice there is a very strange smell in the air. You've not really smelled anything like it before, unless it's possibly in church. It smells a bit like incense.
Huh. Do your boys smell that?
Know what?
It smells like incense. Like something's burning.
It's probably just my kooky brother. I mean, look, he's in there having a chat, doing his little experiments in the drawing room. You can see there's lights on. Like,
perhaps that's sage. Is that sage?
Not sage.
Willie, he doesn't pay you much, does he, to keep the place in good nick? Looking around, kind of layer of dust along a banister and different things.
William turns around and he actually looks a bit cross, and he's like, "Your brother, Mr. Professor Connelly, asked me to hurry you to your rooms, gentlemen. Would you follow me?" And he just starts walking up the stairs into the darkness.
Already? What about the refreshments? I was hoping for a rather large glass of brandy.
I'm sure we can get plenty of brandy once we're like cleaned up. Whatever.
I mean,
I'll
I
freshen
know
up
where you're
first
getting,
of all.
I know where
Very
you're
well.
getting brandy from.
Very well. I'm sure Park will bring my things in very soon. Greetings to both of you, by the way. I am Richmond Green from Oxford. It's a pleasure. Who do I have the pleasure of meeting here?
I'm Professor Keene. I was in contention for the funding that you gave to.
Oh, Professor
Mr.
Keene,
Connelly,
I remember. Terribly bad luck that you didn't get it, I'm afraid. But it's wonderful to meet you, and I insist on shaking your hand.
Yes, definitely, yes. It's very nice to meet you.
Pleasure
in
to meet
person
you.
for a
Pleasure to
change,
meet you.
yes.
No hard feelings, what?
I mean, slightly, but I'll get over it. Fine.
Well, I'm sure we can talk about these things over the course of the next few days.
I've got tremendously good ideas.
Have you really?
Yes.
Oh,
One is about like a wheel of. Never mind. We'll come to that later.
The wheel's already been invented, buddy. Give you a pat on the back.
Loads of it engineering.
As a group, are you going to continue up the stairs? Are you going to split up, or do you want to continue to the drawing room?
Richmond's going to be kind of following he's playing the proper guest, so he's going to be following behind the guy just there. His cane clicking on the floor as he heads along, sort of talking to these other people as he's going, assuming they're following.
So is anyone staying behind?
Yeah, so I'm going to...
I was going to go towards the door where the light was underneath, coming through. You can hear people talking, and I could smell the sage or something, and I would lightly knock on the door. And
as he was knocking, I'd say Jack would be like, "Look, Willie, I'm going to meet my brother," and we'll just walk into the room.
Okay, so as Charles and Jack head downstairs, John, what are you doing? Are you continuing up with Richmond, or are you following the other two towards the drawing room?
John continues following Richmond, and is it William?
William, yeah.
Yeah.
So William carries on as if the other two are following as well, and he leads you up onto obviously the second floor in America, the first floor if you're British, and it is again showing signs of extreme dilapidation. The rich red carpet is stained and blackened, and well, you notice that a lot of the windows are boarded up, and the kind of light that's shining through outside from the occasional lightning flash barely can make it in, and really the only light is this lantern that he's holding up. And he walks over to a door on the south wall. There are about 6 or 7 doors on this floor, and says, "Professor Roy, this is your room. You'll find a candle inside, lit and ready for you, as well as a small fire and a wash basin. When you're ready, join the company downstairs for some light refreshments. Dinner will commence. He sort of looks at the air as if he's thinking and goes, maybe at 7.
All right. Is that fire lit in the room, or am I supposed to make that myself?
He sort of pushes the door open, leaving you, Richmond, almost in the complete darkness. And as William sort of leads John Roy into his room, you notice that the staircase continues up to the next floor. And on that staircase is a shadowy figure walking quickly. And you hadn't seen where it just seems to have appeared in the middle of the staircase, although it couldn't have done, could it? And it just disappears up into darkness. And I would like you to give me another spot hidden roll.
Okie
Better this time, I'm sure.
Duncan might be the first one to roll sanity by the sounds of it.
Here we go. It's a pass. But just a pass.
Okay, with a 35. Brilliant. So you notice as the light from a lightning burst illuminates the figure's face. Although there wasn't a lightning burst. So where was that light coming from? Anyway, it's Professor Connelly, your friend, disappearing off up into darkness.
Connelly, old boy, is that you? Oh, you devil! What are you doing hiding over there? He's going to sort of start heading after him.
So it's really dark, and you head up. You kind of miss your footing a bit, but you do find it and head up onto the second floor if you're British. And it's this very, very similar layout to the floor below. Again, very dilapidated, but there is some light shining. Sure where it's coming from. And you look around and you see that on a small table on the eastern wall next to a door, there is another one of these lanterns. And this figure is passing that table and disappearing through a door. It closes it behind it.
And you're saying it's really dark around here?
Really dark, yeah. It shouldn't be this dark. This is just after 5 in April. And although, these windows are really covered in grime and there is a storm outside from the sound of the rain, it is unusual.
Richmond's going to shout after Connelly once more. Connelly, come back here! My God, man! And sort of head over towards this door. He's quite a stubborn old chap, is Richmond, so he's not going to let a little bit of darkness stop him.
You open the door. The door stops for a moment as if it's locked, and then you hear a sound, or almost feel a sound, and then it just opens, revealing a dark, empty, very small bathroom. And there is no possibility that anyone could be hiding there, nor could anyone of the figure's size have left the room through any means. I need you to roll sanity.
Ooh.
First one of the day.
Oh, this is exciting. Here we go. It is a pass, but only just 69. I needed 70.
Okay, so you still lose 1 sanity, and you really feel your heart beating in your chest. This just feels wrong. And you glance around, and it is, you kind of think, how could he be? Is he hiding in the bath? Is there a cupboard? There's no cupboard in there. And you look down in the sink, and you just see in the sink is something strange. For a moment, you think it's blood. Maybe the light, although it's very, very dark. You rub your finger on it, and whatever it is sticks to your finger and doesn't rub off. But it's far too dark for you to figure out exactly what it is.
All right, well, Richmond's going to put a brave face on it and sort of go through his moustache and march out the door as quickly as a man that requires a cane can do. And start heading back down the steps.
Straight into William.
Steady there, old boy. What are you trying to do? Give me a heart attack?
Sir, you seem to have almost found your room. Here you are. And he points to one of the doors on the southern wall. You'll find everything you need. Please join the company presently. And in the light, you look down at your fingers and you see what looks to be black ink. Meanwhile, on the bottom floor, Professor Keene and Jack Connelly are approaching the door to the drawing room. Are you going to listen outside, or are you going to push it open? What are you going to do, Jack? I think you were first.
Oh, I would have seen Charles go, who I've kind of met in passing through my brother, kind of would half know his name or half recognize him. Go to knock politely, and I'm just assuming Kenny's in there, as he often spent time in the drawing room studying and reading. So just burst open and go, Kenny, what the hell is going on? Like as I'm in the room saying that, basically.
I was gonna. Okay.
It's my house. Look, Charles, if you want to go anywhere, it's fine. Just look out for that weird Willy guy, but it's fine. There's like the place is falling apart. There's not much to see here. Just don't take any silverware, and you're fine.
Understood, good old chap. Right. So who's in this room?
So, like the rest of the house, this once grand parlour is dilapidated into squalor. Mouldering paintings glare down from the shadows, lit only by the flickering glow from a large ornate fireplace, where 3 figures stand, their faces illuminated by the flames. A young, bespectacled woman in conservative dress, and an attractive dark-haired woman are listening to an older mustachioed man, who some of you, I think Professor Keene, will recognise as Professor John Quinn. And he is speaking in hushed tones. I tell, it was as large as a horse, I tell you, but it's with huge bat wings. And its face was a mass of writhing snakes. And then you burst into the room, and everyone's just facing you.
And we hear this sentence, do we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Who the hell are you, and where's Kenny?
The attractive, dark-haired woman kind of approaches you. She sort of turns around, approaches you, and goes, "Why, hi, my name is Claire Whiteley. I'm a friend of Kenny's. This is well, why don't you introduce yourself?" The doctor obviously introduces himself as Dr. Quinn. Yes, he seems to have kind of completely lost his composure. My name is Dr. Quinn, and he shakes your hand. His palms are cold, Jack, and he goes, Professor Keene, good to see you here as well.
Yes. Nice to see you, Dr. Quinn.
The other woman
I
is
don't
kind
think
of
we've
just
had the
staring
pleasure of
into the
meeting
shadow.
before, Claire.
Well, no, we haven't. No, I'm not sure why we would have done. It's great to meet you all. Great to have such learned gentlemen as you. I mean, I'm always great to hear some. And she's obviously a bit sort of shaken by the whole thing, or at least she's coming across as such.
Look, Jack Conley's my name. I'm Kenneth, or Kenny's brother. This was our childhood summer home, so welcome, Claire. And sorry, what's your name? This is the second lady who's kind of in the background, quiet.
She sort of pushes her glasses up and goes, "My name is Diana Carlson. I too was a friend. I say a friend. I was a student of the professor. I used to attend the Miskatonic University. In fact, Professor Keene, you kind of recognize this lady, although you don't think you've ever been officially introduced. I've been working in. Well, I've been a high school teacher ever since I left the university, and I received, as we all seem to have done, a very strange telegram a few days ago. And having not heard from my good friend and mentor Kenneth for the last, well, how long has it been? Over a year. I rushed to get here, as I guess we've all done. Very strange.
Kenneth was just, whenever he had a big discovery or anything, did any achievement as a child, he loved the attention. He'd always go running to our parents or our aunts and uncles, showing him what he could do. If he'd learn to ride a bike or discover some new law of physics. Like,
you related to young Kenneth? Well, I say young Kenneth. You related to Kenneth? She's probably like late 30s.
Well, yes, Kenneth is old enough to be your father, and I am on the other hand, his younger brother. Nice to meet you.
You definitely share Kenneth's good looks, indeed, sir. Have you heard from your brother recently? We've all been so worried about him since his disappearance.
Well, I mean, it's not that we don't talk, but I'm up in Boston. He spends a lot of his time down here in New York. I haven't really. We'd meet at Christmas, maybe. We'd send a telegraph or a letter, but no real correspondence of meaning other than the same, by the sounds of it, the same telegraph you all received.
Oh, so you haven't heard from him you heard from him at Christmas. What did he say?
Merry Christmas. Hope you have a good Christmas and New Year. Love, Kenny. That was literally all he said. Like I said, like we don't talk much. We're brothers. Like, but like I mean, there used to be a butler knocking around here, Benjamin or Benji. But there's just this weird William character who has done a terrible job keeping the place. This is actually a stunning house. It just needs a little bit of elbow grease.
You turn around and William has appeared, and he's obviously heard what you've just said. I'll bring through some refreshments presently. There's a drinks cabinet over in the corner, which Dr. Connelly keeps well stocked. Please help yourselves, and I'll bring you some food. I believe the other gentleman will be down presently. And he leaves, and as he leaves, Professor John Roy enters the room as well.
Can I just be in my room before I came down?
Yeah.
I wanted to take the letter and tear out the part that has the code on it and burn the rest. And I wanted to fold that part up and just stick it into my sock so that it wasn't in my pocket or anything like that, just so that it's hidden and I have it.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's raining a monsoon outside. I'm sure your socks will sit perfectly dry.
Well, that's where it is. So, I walk into the room then. Hello everyone. William mentioned refreshments. I don't see anything yet. How is he?
I can knock up a mean Tom Collins as I'm walking towards the drinks cabinet. Can I enter the sidecar if anyone likes a sidecar?
So, Dr. Quinn, and Diana and Claire, when exactly did you all arrive here?
Sort of Claire steps forward and goes, well, I arrived just before 5, soon followed by Diana here. And Diana nods. And lastly, Dr. Quinn arrived soon after that. We've really not been here a long time.
Have you noticed this really unusual mist that just seems to be all over the place?
I can't say I have.
Oh, so you don't have eyes. Right. Right, that's fair enough. I talked to the man who was, I think Glenn was his name, down at the general store. He said there's been this unusual mist that's shown up. And now this rain, it's all rather peculiar. I think a bit odd.
I think at that moment, Richmond Green enters the room, looking slightly less composed than he was when you last saw him.
How about that brandy? Is it around? Oh, hello there.
Jack reaches out with the brandy in his hand, just hands him a bottle. I'm making cocktails. I don't need this for the minute.
Marvellous. Thank you, old boy. He's going to take the brandy and have a fair swig, and then notice there's some new people in the room.
So introductions are made, drinks are passed around, and William appears with a tray of what could be very generously described as vol au vents. I think those of you with a credit rating higher than 60 would probably not fancy these. They're maybe a little too rustic. To everyone else, I guess it's reasonably good food. It's probably bought from the very small general store. It's fresh, at least. And you all kind of get to know each other reasonably well. Dr. Quinn is another professor of physics, although he is much more of a teacher. So he's focused rather than on his own research. Diana is, as I said before, is a physics teacher. And Claire, she is a student at the University of Chicago, and she focuses on, well, she says the occult. You're all kind of getting on quite well, or reasonably well, when suddenly William rushes into the room, and he's looking a little bit shocked. And he says, I'm sorry to interrupt all you fine folks, but I've just been searching all over for Dr. Connelly, and I can't find him anywhere. He seems to have disappeared.
Richmond's going to splutter in his brandy as he as he says he's disappeared. What again?
He and William kind of just looks at you a bit confused. He said that he'd be waiting for you all in the library, and I've just been there and he's not there. I've quickly run up to his room. He's not there. I don't know where he's gone. He's disappeared.
So you've checked 2 places and you're concerned.
It is a pretty big house. You haven't really done a great job of looking out, have you?
And Claire says, well, why don't we all maybe check out this library? Maybe he's there, or maybe there's a clue to where he could be.
You will arrive in good time.
William looks really uncomfortable and goes, oh, well, I'm going to carry on looking, but I'm really concerned. He was due to come and meet you all. He said for you to all meet in the library, but he's
William, I'm
not
sure
there.
this is just him trying to have an elaborate, showy, real theatric reveal of this discovery he has. He's always been jealous of my charismatic nature and talent. He had the brains, I had the personality. So he's always been trying to, friendly rivalry. You get like one-upmanship. I'm sure that's all this is.
Well, by the sounds of it, he wants us to go to the library anyway, so maybe we could go there so he can do his big reveal and surprise us all.
Woo.
I mean, he's going to his big idea of a reveal is he's going to walk out of the cupboard in the library. And it probably won't even be a cupboard in the library. He'll have brought in a cupboard that won't look like it's part of a library. But act surprised. Like, it'll make his day.
So, like,
Of course,
Diana's like
secret
nodding as
passages.
We're all having one conversation and Richard's
like-
he's on a different level. He's like,
Yeah.
That's Jack. We haven't got the planning permission yet for secret passages, but we're working on it. Send another check, please.
Well, I think it's probably best we don't keep the man waiting. He might be there right now. How about we go to the library and see if he's there?
So, I mean, everyone follows you. So you go through as 7 of you. William sort of disappears off upstairs to kind of, I guess, continue searching. And you open the door. Jack, I'm going to assume that you're going to go first.
Yeah. I guess so. I'm really confident that this is going to go well for me. Sure. I was waiting a pause for anyone else to jump in, lads. But okay, I bravely go forward first, I guess.
you used to live here. You go first immediately, yeah.
I wasn't a big... Actually, I was maybe a big library guy. I have decent library use.
You know where the library is as well. And now sort of Williams has disappeared in a huff that I guess no one else really knows where it is. So the library is one of the largest rooms in the house with a really high ceiling and walls filled with books. Now, the first thing you notice as you enter in, this is a lit room. Every other room you've been in the house hasn't had electricity, it hasn't had any kind of, there's no gas built in. It's lit by fireplace or by these like lanterns or candles. This room has electricity, and you can hear that sort of buzzing sort of pulse as you enter.
Damn, this room is lit.
Is a jump.
It was there. We all wanted to do it. I had to do it for the audience.
In the centre of the room, there is a jumble of machinery, a sort of combination of a machine shop sort of equipment, which I guess John Roy will be more familiar with, and some very strange and random electrical devices that maybe more Charles would be more familiar with. Whatever its original purpose, although there are books on the wall, it has been converted into a workshop and I guess maybe a laboratory. There is all kinds of crazy devices and strange gizmos. But in the center of the room, which draws all of your attention, is a curious device. It looks maybe like a backpack, but with sort of cables going into a helmet of some sort. There's a pair of odd-looking boots bound in copper and a pair of odd-looking gloves. Another sort of pair of boots and gloves are attached to this device by its belt. and it's hanging on like a crude sort of mannequin stand.
Fascinating. What on earth could he have been working on?
I don't know.
My goodness, what's this?
I don't know, but it definitely looks expensive. I see where your money's gone.
It does rather. I'm glad he's been putting it to good use, but
Definitely not been using it on the house.
is it?
Or on
Well,
the
no.
health.
I guess not. Is this very much the kind of thing that you're wanting to do with the investment?
Absolutely not. I'm not going to make something that's going to kill people.
Now, Charles, don't let that jealous streak get out. It's not necessarily going to kill people. You don't have to just put down all of Kenneth's work every time.
I mean, if
You don't
you
have
could-
to defend Kenneth. He can defend himself if only he was
he's not here. So,
Exactly.
capital punishment is big business in parts of this country. We could sell this electric chair to Hickey and make money, maybe.
You have quite the business mind there, Mr. Jack.
Thank you, sir. Even Vullivants that he's brought from, which he calls Vullivants, so that like Vongs. So what is this thing, again, to Charles?
Yes,
Can
come on,
either of us
Professor Keane,
make-
Professor Roy. What are we looking at here?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
I'm not familiar with this. Maybe bits and pieces. If I had some time to look at it, I could maybe figure something out. But right now, I'm as confused as the rest of you.
What if I was to try and understand? If I roll physics, would I be able to potentially see what this is?
It is very confusing. So yeah, are you gonna look at it? Are you gonna put it on? How are you gonna examine it? What are you looking for?
Please.
Oh,
So John Roy says this couldn't possibly kill me. La
I didn't
la
say
la.
that. I said it probably will not kill you.
It definitely probably won't.
So the other kind of characters in the room are sort of were spacing out. So Diana and Dr. Quinn had gone over to this large green whiteboard, which is covered in these like crazy notes.
Green
and
whiteboard. Do you
equations.
mean a blackboard?
No, yeah, but it's green. Like it's dark green. It's not black.
It's chalkboard.
It's a chalkboard. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word chalkboard. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
And-
white either. Clearly.
So anyway, it's covered in these crazy equations. I guess the other lady, Claire, is kind of just watching you in bemusement as you kind of struggle with the heavy backpack and the different parts, and you kind of get it on. And as you kind of click the final thing into place, everyone in the room is now watching you.
Yes.
Do you want to give me that physics roll?
But right before I do, I go.
My God, man!
I'm really messing with you. It's a joke. Yeah. Right.
Oh, yes, rather.
Hilarious. Right.
I hope you get Gryffindor.
I don't quite understand that reference.
Oh, it'll kill in 80 or 90 years, depending if you
We're
read
still
books or
alive.
watch movies.
Yeah. So here we go. Oh, I've rolled 38 against 70.
Wow. Do you want to spend 3 lucks that make that a hard success?
Do you know what? I think I will. Yes. 3 luck. That puts me on 52 luck, so everyone knows. I've got quite a lot of luck on this character.
You're now only blind instead of incapacitated.
Okay. So the first thing you notice is that the backpack itself seems to have one very strange power source. Another, you can definitely tell that it's generating an enormous amount of power. You've never seen anything like this, and you don't know how it could possibly be generating the levels of power that it seems to be giving off, particularly the kind of electromagnetic pulses for something so small. It doesn't make any sense. But there also doesn't seem to be any controls or any way of turning it on. You know, as you're kind of examining the backpack before you put it on, there's no like on or off switch, there's no dials, there's no buttons, there's nothing. You kind of put it on. The only thing that could possibly give you a way of controlling it is on the wrist. So the large gloves actually extend halfway up the device's forearm. And on the left one, there is a gap, a hole about 4 inches long, 1 inch wide, and about 1 inch deep, where something appears to be missing. And I think that is a great place for us to take a 10-minute break. Hello, and welcome back to Does It Roll, Does the Code? Before we jump back into our story, I just want to show you or mention the miniature that you might have seen on our break screen. So we have teamed up with Lucid Eye Publications, who make figures. They're based in Nottingham, and they have made a figure of Bartholomew Ormond, the famous or infamous Bartholomew Ormond, and it will be released next week. And there will also be a special discount to How We Roll fans. So if you fancy owning your very own Bartholomew Ormond ready for painting, it will be available next week. Now they've said if this does get popular and it is a good partnership, they are hoping to make figures of all of the two-headed serpent crew. So you may have an opportunity to own your very own Greg model. That is,
I'm getting Greg immediately.
I believe that it's Bart first. They would maybe look at a Spencer and then would go from there. I'm very, very excited. There'll be loads on the How We Roll Twitter, so please check it out. Let's get back to the code. So our intrepid adventurers, or should I say our elderly professors and gentlemen from all over the land, have journeyed to a dilapidated old house in the middle of the forest just north of New York to visit their friend or colleague, Dr. Kenneth Connelly, who has for them a splendiferous device, an invention he has made which is going to change the world. They arrived through some very, very strange weather to find the house incredibly dilapidated, dark and spooky. They met some characters, a couple of women and a man, and were told by this, I say manservant, an odd fellow named William, that the professor has disappeared, and the last time he saw him was in the library. Our characters journeyed into the library where they found it had been converted into a steampunk dream, a workshop or maybe a laboratory of epic proportions. There were strange devices, papers, and odd equations drawn on the very wall. It was on a blackboard or a green board, apparently.
Chalkboard.
Apparently, you wrote the thing.
And Curran, playing the Professor Charles Keene, being Curran, walked into the middle of the room where there was a device, an odd suit, a helmet, a backpack, gloves and boots, and then another pair of boots and gloves attached to its belt, and he immediately put it on. And although nothing dreadful happened, much to everyone's disappointment, he did notice that something was missing. On the arm, there appeared to be a hole, about 5 inches long, 4 inches long, an inch deep, an inch wide, where something is missing. And I believe we are going to jump straight back into the action with Curran right now.
Right, so it might be that my age has gotten the better of me and I can't quite make sense of this, but it appears though something is missing from my forearm area. Does everyone see this?
Come here, let me take a look at that.
I don't see any blood.
Can I recognize the shape? Do I know maybe what is missing or what I have?
Yeah, it's like a cuboid.
It's where you fit the remote. It's not.
We did
Check the couch cushions.
Yeah, check the desks, check everything else around. We did just kind of come in here and put the suit on without actually looking at anything else in the room.
So Claire,
you guys at the chalkboard, what do you see on that?
Well, so Claire, the others are by the chalkboard. So Diana and Professor Dr. Quinn were by the chalkboard, but Claire has been by the table, and she just picks up a piece of paper that was lay on top and says, "Could this be the missing object?" And
It's
she
a
sort of
piece of
hands
paper.
it over to Professor Keene. What this device on here? This looks like it could fit into that hole that you just described.
So I'm not sure if I should do this, but I'm just, I'm just going to do it. Just, and I put it into the arm slot.
The paper.
Yeah.
So the paper itself is probably too big to fit into the arm slot. Although if you wanted to kind of screw
Crumple
it
it
up,
up into a ball.
yeah, you could probably
Yeah.
manage.
I think
Um,
what Claire is trying to say is that's the schematics of the object,
Yes,
Dr.
no, of
Brainbox.
course, yes, of course. Why would you put paper in the hole? That would be silly. Yes.
You haven't, like-
is this why he didn't get the funding?
Are you familiar with screwdrivers and like hammers, bolts, nails, or you have people that do that for you?
He was talking to me.
Yeah, yes.
Oh no,
The guy
obviously I
putting
don't-
paper into this machine. Yes.
No. I have a 40 in electrical repair. I am capable of quite a few
Wiring several plugs.
Yeah.
So the picture, which is obviously now screwed up, on this sheet is in the center is what looks like a rectangle, and on it is an alphanumeric display, all letters of the alphabet, numbers 1 to 9, then a 0, and there's also a number of strange symbols which you do not recognize. It would, I guess, fit into the device. There are a number of other kind of things written around the outside, but they've all been scribbled out or crossed out vehemently.
How many characters does that alphanumeric display have on it? Like, as in, if it was to spell out a word, how many letters would the word be, or the code?
Well, there's 26 letters and 10 numbers, and then 4 unusual symbols that you don't recognize. So I guess it could write anything.
And
Well, I'm at this point. I'm looking at John Roy quite intensely, saying, with my eyes, "You know that you have a code in your mortgage." And
I know. I'm nodding.
So
just
Claire
nodding.
is sort of looking back and forth at you when you're both sharing this look, and she goes, Have you gentlemen seen this before? Do you know what this might be?
I have no idea. I've never seen.
I've
this
not seen
in my
anything
life.
like it ever before, ever.
Seems a little bit complicated.
So Richmond Green, you've just been sort of watching the spectacle take place in front of you.
Realising
And-
why I didn't fund this guy.
Thinking that you may have made the right choice. And I'd like you to make a listen roll, if that's
A listen
okay.
roll.
Mm.
Alrighty. Let's see. Listen. Okay. Looking for a 50. Zero 5.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay,
Extreme,
so
is it?
Hear everything.
despite the commotion in front of you, you can hear from the corridor behind you, it's not a corridor behind you, the foyer behind you, some footsteps. Now, with your extreme success, you don't recognize them as just footsteps, but these footsteps have exactly the same gait and sound as that of your good friend, Kenneth Connelly. And they are the exact same weight and cadence of the footsteps you'd heard previously going up the stairs and into the bathroom before disappearing. And they are
Okay.
approaching the door. They're really close to the door behind you.
Okay. So whilst the scientists are fiddling about with this machine, I'm going to turn and walk towards the door and say, "Mr. Connelly, are you there?" And open it.
There is nothing there. Nothing at all. And there is no way, despite the hallway being dark, the light from the library illuminates everything in front of you, and there's no hiding place, no way there could possibly be a person there or a person hiding there. And I need you to make another sanity roll.
Oh.
Like we have a guest on the show, and Joe's like picking on them, driving them insane.
This is why we don't have any friends, Joe.
0 4.
Oh.
This is simply preposterous. It can't be anything unnatural.
You don't lose any sanity, but you are really kind of a bit shocked by what's going on. This is unusual. Like, You're certain you heard someone right behind the door, and then there's no way they could have moved quick enough to get out of the way.
Excuse me, chaps. Did any of you hear that?
You hear what?
Hear
What?
what?
The footsteps just now. I keep hearing Kenneth walking around the house, but he doesn't appear to be there when I go and look at him. The blackguard.
What do you know?
How
it's
do you know
not
that it's him?
William?
Sure, it's not Willie. I mean, he's a pretty big dude.
Well, yeah. Oh no. I couldn't possibly have got that wrong. No, when you've got the kind of experience I have out in the world, you can tell a man by his gait. You can always read a man by how he walks. You see, is what I often say.
Your ears have 70 years of training and in no way deteriorated, I am sure.
They do indeed. With a role like that, they can. So, the lady, was it Claire? She's into the occult, isn't she?
She is, yes.
I'd like to look at her, and is she listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, the whole room's looking at you right now, looking a bit confused.
Okay, I'd like to try and read her a little bit to see if if she's into the occult. I'm starting to wonder. I don't really believe in this sort of stuff, but if someone's into the occult and weird stuff's happening, she might be, picking up on something.
She's the witch.
He turns and goes, "Are you a witch?" Yeah, exactly.
Learn her.
We need
Dear,
a duck and the scales.
Yeah.
My dear, did I hear correctly that you are into occult things and strange happenings and that sort of
Witch.
thing?
Well, I've dabbled, of course. I mean, my undergraduate degree was very much based upon the American history of the... Well, I mean, I studied all of American history, but I did become fascinated with the occult, as it were. It started with the discovery of the witch trials up in Salem and what happened to those poor women, and, well, I was just fascinated. And, well, I've delved much deeper ever since then, just trying to find every snippet of the unusual and the strange, and I just find it, well... enigmatic, as it were. Don't you agree, Mr. Green? And she sort of moves right up to you now, and you kind of become aware of how attractive she actually is.
He straightens himself a little bit. Why, yes, it is most strange. Have you been getting any strange sensations in this building?
Well, I mean, I've only been here a few minutes longer than yourself. I mean, I arrived just before these fine folks, and I guess I've not noticed anything beyond, the strange weather outside, and obviously our missing friend, who I'm dreadfully worried about.
Munching on a Vullavan, Jack goes, I was also in a cult once, and I never... Well, I thought it was a religion, but the court said it was a cult, and I'm not getting any weird feelings.
Yes. Okay, I think I'm just going to be nipping out to my car for a few minutes. I'll be right back.
I need to get my bags as well, so I'll follow you out. Maybe we can find this Kenneth you keep hearing walking around. Well, I say this Kenneth, my brother. I'm not questioning the existence of my brother, just the existence of his sound.
Jolly good. Could you tell me? You don't appear to be that keen on your brother. A little bit dismissive of his work, shall we say? Is that correct?
No, he's keen. I'm quite fond of my brother. Like I know he was the brains of the family. I was told as much several times. But I wasn't academic. Academic things. I got through school. I wasn't a bad student. I wasn't a good student. I was always more bombastic, creative. A flair for the spectacular. So I work in acting in the theatre, in Boston, in the Wilbur.
Well, very good, very good.
Perhaps I can tell you about some of my production companies that I'm looking to set up, and if you're looking to do some, philanthropy and invest in the arts.
Oh, the arts always are an interest to a gentleman such as I. I've got some wonderful pieces back in the manor back in Oxford. Did I mention? Have I mentioned? Very well. Yes, please do tell me about such things. But let us go. I just like to go and pick up Bessie.
Your dog? Who's Bessie?
I shall show you, my good man. So, is it still raining outside?
Yeah, so you make your way through the dark of the foyer, and it is now much, much darker. Like, it can't be more than 6 o'clock, maybe a bit later. You did chat in the parlor for a while. But when you open the door and look out, it could be the middle of the night. There is no sound, no sign of the sun beneath the rolling clouds above. And the rain, although maybe not as heavy as it was when you arrived, is still very present. And as you step out from underneath the cover of the veranda of the house into the rain, it is cold and certainly doesn't match that of April. You're kind of expecting your manservant, your driver, to be waiting for you, and he's not there with an umbrella to meet you by the door.
Parker, whereabouts are you, old boy? Goodness gracious, if he's off drinking again, then we are going to have some words. Come on, chap. And Richmond's going to sort of hobble down the stairs and start heading towards the car, looking around for Parker as he goes. If he doesn't appear, he's going to go to the boot of the car and open it up to reveal a double-barreled shotgun amongst his possessions in a bag. She'll unzip for a second and unbutton and just check it's there, and very good, and close it up again and sort of sling it over. So it's...
I brought a nice shirt, like a couple of pair of shoes, a pants. What's that for?
Well, you see, Kenneth and I would often do a spot of hunting on the estate, and I thought he might be interested. I've never done any hunting in America. I thought it might be a jolly good laugh,
I don't, to be honest with you, but okay.
But I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Connelly. Jack Connelly, wasn't it?
Yes.
Can I call you Jack?
Go for it, Jack, Jackie, Jimmy, Bob, whatever you want. Let's just keep talking about this potential investment opportunity. Whatever you want to call me, I'm good with.
Oh, Jackie! Oh, how delightfully American. Yes, I was thinking that perhaps we ought to have a good bit of fun out there hunting some deer or something like that. But to be quite honest with you, this house has given me the, what would you call it, the heebie-jeebies. So I thought perhaps better safe than sorry, if you know what I mean.
Okay. There's a lot of doctors here. They might be able to cure you of the heebie-jeebies.
Well,
I don't know if we have that illness in the Americas.
As you say heebie-jeebies, you become very aware of three things. First of all, the front door of your car, or I don't know, would you have rented the car, or have you actually just gone and bought like a brand new Rolls Royce as you've come into America for a few weeks?
He's probably bought it, and if not, one that he already owns. So on this side, if he's travelled around a bit.
That way, you probably have like a New York house and things like that. Well, the front door is open, like just wide open, letting the rain in.
Oh,
The driver's door, yeah. The second thing you notice is that you've parked very much by this sort of dilapidated, broken stable. And the door to the stable is wide open. It's those kind of like swing back doors where it has a top and a bottom. So the bottom is open, the top is still closed. And you're just very, very aware of how dark it is inside the stable. And the third thing you notice, or maybe not notice, I'd like you both to give me a spot hidden roll to see if you do notice this thing.
So we both noticed that the first two things you're saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first at your roll, Duncan?
Yeah, can do. All right, so 45's my target.
I got one no.
100.
Oh my god! Oh boy!
Fumble rules activate.
I saw one.
Would you like
zeros,
to
I was
push
like, oh
through?
my god, is he actually going to get a one?
So chat have made a comment about how I never miss an opportunity to interact with a shotgun, but I don't ever own a shotgun in Call of Cthulhu.
No, but they've interacted with you.
Yeah, interact a lot.
This
Whether
is
I
true.
want to or not. Oh no.
So, do you want to give me that roll, Owen, and we'll see where we go from here?
I got a 61 versus 40.
You want to use your luck?
12 luck.
To not even pass.
So,
well,
Duncan said
I
high
wonder,
score.
could I potentially push this?
well, let's sort of describe the situation. So you've picked up your shotgun, and you're kind of showing it to Jack Connelly, and then suddenly you start feeling very worried, and you suddenly feel like you're being watched, and you swing the shotgun round, and you're now pointing it at
himself.
this stable door. And you're absolutely convinced there is something inside watching you, and you just feel these heebie-jeebies. If you'd like to push the roll, you need to kind of describe what you'd like to do.
Or Parker, you know what I'm saying?
At this point, just unrelated, can Jack walk towards his car to get his bag out of the back as far away from this current car?
While you consider what you'd like to do with this pushed roll, I think we're going to move the camera back to the library. Professor Keene, you are still wearing this device, holding this diagram. Diana and Dr. Quinn are looking through the papers. Professor Roy, what are you doing?
Can I take a look through the desk, see if I can find anything that resembles this device, or even through the machinery itself to see if I can find anything?
Yeah, so if you want to go through any of the papers, that would be a library use. If you'd like to kind of literally search the room, let's give a spot hidden.
It might not be I'd like to check any cupboards or desk drawers or anything like that to see if I can find the actual thing that's missing. Spot hidden, you said?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, what do we get? I get a 90.
A 90.
Versus 40. So I don't find anything.
So, and you feel that you kind of the first drawer you come to is just stuck, and you spend quite a few minutes trying to get through this stuck drawer, and you kind of eventually give up. Then you go over to the cupboard, and that cupboard won't open. You kind of look around, and you realise like everyone else is looking really busy, and you've managed to do nothing. If you'd like to push the roll,
and just try to just wrench the drawer open.
Wrench it off the wall.
Am I wearing flame retardant stuff? Or
no.
You're wearing metal.
Okay, there we go. 16. That is a Wait, what would I be doing that against? Actually, would that be strength or power?
So that would be your strength, I think, if you're trying to force the door open.
Okay, then it's a hard success. My strength
nice.
is 50.
Okay, so the door kind of rocks. Sort of sticks, and you pull it, and the whole thing comes forward. And for a moment, you're convinced that this bureau is going to fall upon you. But then the door flies open.
I stumble back and almost fall, but
you kind of breathe a sigh of relief, and you kind of bend down and sort of clutch your stomach, just oh my god.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm like an old man, and this broke a door open.
How old is your character?
He's 62.
I mean, not super old, but old enough that maybe
it's older than most of the other people in the room, bar
older
maybe
than me.
Richmond. Young whippersnapper.
So you don't. As you're bending down, you don't notice there's anything in the cupboard. In fact, there's anything of interest in there. But what you do notice is the floor is scratched, like it's been recently moved and not very carefully, and the varnish has kind of been peeled away. So
there's something might be behind it.
Like something might be behind it, or for whatever reason, this bureau has been moved from actually probably just a few feet to your left.
And I move it back to where it was and see if I spot anything there.
I am going to need another strength check, unless you want to try and call some people over.
I am stubborn, so I'm going to try to do it by myself. 66 versus 50. I would like to call someone over to push it. To push my strength roll.
You can ask your good friend Charles.
Well, Charles Keene is busy either in the suit, or if you try and get away, you realise the suit is still attached to this mannequin, or you can't take the suit off, which will take a while.
I was walking towards him to help, and I was
whichever one of the three in the room is closest.
Yeah, so I think Dr. Quinn is being interesting. He goes, oh, Mr. Professor Roy, good to see you again. What have you found? Something strange? I'll certainly help you move it. And you can roll again on your pushed roll, but you have an advantage. You can roll with a bonus die. Because that means you can roll the D10, the 10s dice twice, and use the lower 10s, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, I got a 20, but I could go for an extreme success. So that would make it a 10, would it?
Wow.
I got a 10.
So the two of you
which is an extreme success.
very, very easily. In fact, you kind of wonder how you got so... It's not a surprise that you managed to pull it back on your own, pulling the door open. And you push it out of the way, and you do so without scratching the floor. And you look up, and you see on the library wall 3 bullet holes.
Oh,
And I think we're going to move the camera back to Richmond Green and Jack Connelly, as Richmond Green is wildly aiming his shotgun to attack the darkness. So, Richmond Green, Duncan, how would you like to push this roll? What would you like to do?
I want to loudly and confidently declare that, you there, whoever you are, show yourselves. Come out now or I shoot.
And how would you like to push it? What are you hoping to... Because it was a spot hidden originally.
It was. What I'd like to do is essentially try and intimidate out whatever it is that's hiding there to reveal itself, is what I'm going for. So I'm sure something's there, but I'm a bit scared as to what it might be.
Okay, so give me that intimidate roll.
Okay. Here we go. Big moment. Looking for 50. 99!
No.
Here was me thinking that Curran was going to be the first one to get in
Well, we're
trouble.
not going to have a Jack Connelly mini anytime soon.
So, unsurprisingly, to anyone who's ever watched How We Roll before, your shotgun goes off.
Where's Jack standing?
Well, I think I need you, Duncan, to give me a luck roll. To
Well, thank
find
God
out
it's
if
his
you
luck. Thank God it's his luck.
unleash 1 barrel or 2 barrels.
Oh, goodness. 40 I'm looking for. Here we go. 1!
Oh my
Wow.
god!
I
I'm
wouldn't
having a
believe.
night of extremes here, aren't I?
That's all you roll. There's no middle ground.
I think we've rolled the 1 like twice in the show ever on roll 20.
So only 1 barrel went off,
Mm.
and it
Crit
fires
success.
through the the open stable door, and you hear a kind of grunt. And stumbling out of the stable is your driver, Parker. Can
We've
you?
been through worse. It's all right.
He drops his cigarette as blood begins to kind of like soak through his immaculate white shirt. And I need you to roll me damage. Now, a shotgun does 4d6. If you'd done both barrels, it would be 8d6. So.
Oh.
Does he maybe get half cover?
I've never been so happy to see an innocent man die in this game.
46, you say?
Mm.
All right, here we go.
Can he do the opposite? Can he just get ones now?
Oh, no, it's done it.
Oh boy.
That's a lot of damage.
There is he kind of like
14 damage just for
releases his hand, and just his innards just flop out onto the ground before and you're kind of given this grisly image just for a moment before he collapses in front of you, and I need you both to roll me sanity. Let's go with Duncan first. What did you? Let's give that sanity roll.
All right. 69, 86. Oh yeah. This is disturbing.
That's a fail. That's a fail.
You'd
And
hope so.
I sort of feel that because you, because he was someone known to you, and obviously you're the person that
Because
killed
he was
him,
the help.
I think we're going to very much ask for a D10 sanity loss here.
D10.
Oh
okay.
dear.
Yeah, let's go. Let's not pulling any
that's
punches
2.
today.
Oh, not
2.
bad.
Okay.
I know
so-
him, but I don't like him very much.
Oh.
Okay, so you just for this moment you panic and you drop the shotgun, and you just have this moment of absolute terror, not just because you've killed someone that you know and care about, but because there's a witness. Not just Jack Connelly, but there's probably a whole load of witnesses. You can't have this tarnish your reputation. You can't go to jail. And in the maddening of the moment, you just run and you bolt and you head towards the woods. Now, because you're not in a bout of madness or anything, you will immediately gain control of your character. But just for that 10 seconds, you panic. Owen, how did that sanity roll go?
So for me, I rolled a 62 versus 70. I pass.
Okay, so I'm going to just say that you lose one sanity, and you are shocked. But I guess for whatever reason, you hold it together.
It's a 73-year-old walking around in the rain with a shotgun. I mean, he shakes a lot the best of times. I'm just like, what was he expecting to happen? Where are you going? Like when you say he runs off, like he's 73. I assume he's not getting very far very fast. He's like a brisk walk. I'm probably catching up to him. Wait, is he still holding the shotgun?
Oh my goodness!
No,
goodness gracious!
He dropped it. He dropped it at your feet.
So I'm going to pick up the shotgun, unload the remaining shell, and go. How about we don't? How about we put Betsy to bed and we figure out what we're doing here. I mean, Parker dropped the shotgun and it hit him in the chest. We all saw it, right?
goodness! I do. Oh my God! I do apologize. Oh bloody hell! This is Oh God! I don't.
As he's saying this, can I check Parker's pulse?
You saw the wound. He took a shotgun blast at about 8 feet to the abdomen. And I mean, you saw the mess it made of him. If he is still alive, he's going to very much wish he wasn't.
Chief, I don't think an apology is going to cut it. We need to figure out, I mean, I'm all about you confessing to murder if that's what you want to do. Like,
goodness gracious, no, I couldn't possibly. It was an accident. You saw it. It's this house. It's causing strange things to occur. It's making.
Hey! I don't come over to Oxford, kill someone I know, and blame it on your house. This house is fine. Let's just say.
Of course, not. The very idea is preposterous. Goodness gracious! I can't possibly go to jail. The good name of Green will never. What about my son, Richmond Green Jr.? He can't possibly have a father go to jail. And my wife. Oh goodness! Oh God! I tell you what, old boy. What do you think? You're a native to these parts. What would you do?
Well, I mean, native is an interesting choice of words. I wouldn't say native, but I mean, from what I saw and how I think it happened, because it otherwise it looks real bad. Is Parker was bringing your bags to your room, taking them out of the car, and the shotgun, which was loaded for some reason because you're crazy British people, he dropped and it hit him in the chest.
I guess that's plausible.
I mean, door B is you've murdered a man and you go to prison in America where they don't like what people refer to affectionately as limeys, or less affectionately as dirty redcoats.
My good man, you make a very good point. A moment ago, you were saying to me you were looking for some funding, were you not?
Yeah. Yes. How about we first of all take care of this, and I can show you some of this great acting you'll be investing in for this funding. And then at that point, Jack is going to start like screaming, "Just help! There's been an accident!" Like start hamming up some acting.
Well, it's funny because just as you're about to shout out, you kind of look up and you sort of take in the landscape as you go to turn round, and you notice a figure carrying what seems to be a body. And I'd like you both to give me a spot hidden roll.
Oh dear God! I'll roll it first, I guess. Shall I?
Let's go for it.
You go for it, mate.
Spot hidden. I rolled a 75, so I failed versus 40.
Okay.
Kind of concerned about the dead body and the hole in the chest situation.
Fair.
I got 83. No. I think the fact I'm crying is stopping me from.
And you're so engrossed in my character. So engrossed in my character work, calling for help.
So, although you do see there is a figure carrying what appears to be, well, maybe not a body. I mean, carrying a large something over its shoulder, heading off into the woods. you don't see his or her face as it disappears from sight. And let's move the camera back to Professor John Roy, who has just discovered 3 bullet holes in the wall of the library, and Professor Keene, who is desperately trying to get out of the suit. Professor Keene, Corinne, one thing you do notice when you were wearing it, you notice that attached to the belt is another set of gloves and another set of boots, as if someone could also be kind of attached to the machine, although they wouldn't be wearing the backpack or have access to whatever is on the wrist that's been taken away.
Interesting. This.
Everyone, this looks like something's happened here, and I'm not. Should we get the butler, or does anyone actually know that butler? Does anyone trust him? He seems
William.
a bit odd.
Or William.
There's no response. Claire kind of walks up to the holes and goes, "My God, these look like they're new. Look at them. You can smell the gun smoke. I swear these couldn't be more than, well, I mean they're not so recent, but maybe a week, day. I just don't know, but they look new."
Can I? So none of us actually know Claire, but I know Quinn and Diana just from the Miskatonic University, right?
Yeah, I think you recognize. Yeah.
Okay. I look to Claire and I'm like, yeah, I think you're right, Elizabeth. Just to see if she reacts, because she's the only one I don't know.
Oh, okay. Give me a psychology roll when you when you make that accusation.
I don't have great psychology, so come on, 10.
Hey, Elizabeth.
She sort of looks at you a bit kind of strange and goes, "No, my name is Claire. I introduced myself just a few minutes ago. I mean,
Sorry
Mr.
about
Roy,
that. My memory.
we shared a drink. Do you not remember me? Did I not make no such impression upon you?"
Don't mind him, Claire. He's bad with names.
Names in one ear, out the other.
If you could think of a way of pushing the roll, I mean, I don't know how you do that.
So
but...
I overhear this and I get all of the equipment off my head and the gloves and the belt off and all that, and I'm like, oh, I know what he's trying to do. and I follow, and I sort of follow up and I go, oh, Elizabeth, yes, you are Elizabeth, aren't you? And I act as if I'm very convinced that I know her as Elizabeth from somewhere, really doubling down on it.
Right. Okay. So let's have that push roll.
Is that a push? Do I roll with that?
No. I roll, I believe.
You do the roll, but it does count as a push roll.
Okay, so Curran does. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So my push roll will be psychology 40, and I've rolled a 20.
Wow. Okay. She, like, if she really is Elizabeth, if she isn't Claire, I should say, she is an incredible liar, because as she looks at you, there is a flicker. There is something which could be dishonesty, but her face, her composure doesn't break, and she just sort of looks at you and goes, "No, Professor, my name is Claire. I just told you that. Told your colleague here."
Because you really strike me as an Elizabeth.
No, not at all. But maybe back to these bullet holes that have just appeared on our friend's library. Our missing friend. He could be dead somewhere. He could be bleeding out, and we're here arguing over why you think my name is Claire, sir.
There was no argument. I just was asking a question, ma'am. All right, please relax. So, John, these bullet holes. Yeah. Why they've been covered up? So clearly, someone is hiding the fact that this has happened.
I'm not sure what to think.
Also, as I'm walking over, I'm like, I think she's Elizabeth. She's a very, very good wire.
Oh, she's a pussycat. I thought I saw
yeah, let's keep that on the down low right now. I'm in the same boat as you, but let's not push her. Because
she could be very dangerous.
Yes. Now, I don't know if we want to get William because I have a feeling he could maybe be one of these brothers that we were told not to trust. But I think we should address this to the rest of the room rather than just talking amongst each other and looking crazy right now.
We're not crazy. These bullet holes are very wound.
So,
How are we
meanwhile,
smart characters?
I'm a professor, I'll have you know.
So
Oh,
Claire,
wound.
Viciously wound.
So Claire, Diana, and Dr. Quinn are on the other side of the room, and they've been chatting quite concernedly, if that's such a word, while you're having this sort of conversation to a side. And as you sort of shout that, they look up, and Dr. Quinn goes, "Oh, so gentlemen, the three of us have decided to maybe try and search the house for our missing friend. As young Claire points out, he may be hurt or wounded somewhere. So we're gonna conduct a search. Do you wish to come with us, as it were?"
For sure, yeah. I'd like to. I don't think it would be a great idea for any of us to be alone here. So the more of us together, the better it will go. I think.
Also, would I have heard this shotgun shot from outside?
That's a really good point. Yeah. So do you want to give me? Both give me listener rolls. Let's start with Curran. Do you want to go first?
Yes. I've rolled a 20 yet again against 60.
That is a success. So you, it did come around the same time as a very loud, maybe flash of lightning or clash of thunder, but you definitely hear what sounds like a shotgun blast.
Did you hear that? It's like a shotgun went off.
Do I even need to roll or?
Yeah. So if you let's just move the story on. So whether you heard it or not, it has been pointed out to you.
Maybe we should all go investigate that first rather than digging around this house because it sounds like there could be more trouble, and we've already found bullet marks in one part of this house.
I agree with John. We shouldn't split up, and we should definitely go investigate the blast.
Perfect.
So we're going to head out, and I go out to the foyer and start making my way down the stairs, or upstairs.
So it's all so towards the front door. Yeah. Okay, so you open the door, and something is very, very strange. You're immediately greeted by a gust of absolutely icy cold wind. You are immediately frozen to the bone. You feel yourself clutching your arms. The floor in front of you, the foyer, is covered in a light dusting of snow. And from the staircase, you hear a blood-curdling growl as a creature which can only be described as a wolf, although something far more primordial, is padding down the stairs. And it turns to the left and opens its mouth, bearing some vicious yellow teeth. Meanwhile, back outside.
Oh, God.
There's been an accident!
We had just left Richmond Green and Jack Connelly, who had, just after murdering Parker.
Hold up.
It was an accident.
Who murdered Parker?
I'm sure they were discussing a cover-up. But anyway, had also noticed a strange figure carrying what can only be described as a body, or at least a heavy bag, over its shoulder into the woods to the south.
So, this is going to seem strange, but I think I just saw a person go into the woods carrying something. So we have our story straight if they come back. I'll just have her shouting, "There's been an accident." I don't know who it is. Maybe it's that creepy Willy guy.
Maybe it's Kenneth.
Brother. Maybe he's got my brother.
Maybe he has. Do you think? Do you want to go and look? I can't think straight right now. I feel like I need another brandy.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. I think we should go chase him because, for all intents and purposes, the man you've given, I can only imagine, an untold amount of riches to is missing, and there's someone over there that's carrying something that looks like a body. So look, we've got our story. We'll figure out what's happening. Leave me just 1 second, and I'm going to pull Parker towards the boot of the Rolls Royce, like towards the trunk of the Rolls Royce. Take the bag from Richmond and just scatter some of his clothes, like the bag was dropped on the ground. So come on, we can see if we can find this guy going out in the snow and catch him red-handed.
Parker is gone. There is no sign of the body.
So
He's gone.
And as you kind of spin round in shock, facing Richmond, behind you, Richmond, you hear a voice. I'm very sorry, sir. I was just using the facilities, as it were. I've got your umbrella here, sir. And he just pops the umbrella up behind you and shelters you from the storm. I need you both to make a sanity roll.
Oh my god.
Oh, guys.
this game makes so much sense. I love it.
All right, who's gonna roll first?
I'll go first, I guess. So I rolled a 23 versus 69, I think.
You just lose the one sanity.
So I hear Parker and everything is what I assume, do I?
Oh yeah. Oh, have we just lost Duncan? I think we may have had a disconnect.
So you might see us all weird now, guys.
Yeah, should we go to a short break while we find out what happens to Duncan?
Hello.
Yeah.
That can be entertaining.
Whoops.
Hello and welcome back. We had just had a slight technical difficulty, but we are sorted and we are back into the code. I believe we just left Mr. Jack Connelly and Mr. Oh gosh, Duncan, you've not included your name. I can't remember the name of your character.
Mr. Richmond Green, the one and only.
Richmond Green and Mr. Richmond Green, incredibly shocked as they have just been greeted by Parker, who had just been literally blown away by Mr. Green's shotgun. And I believe, Duncan, you were about to share your sanity roll. Is that correct?
I guess so.
Just so we're noting what is happening. I did unload the shotgun earlier.
Oh my
I got
God.
a 10.
Wow. Okay. So again, you lose one sanity.
Okay.
So you're not too bothered by this. You've almost sort of taken it to your side. But again, this is weird. Like, this isn't the first weird thing that's happened to you tonight. And this is probably the most weird thing that's happened. But Parker is looking at you both in sort of placid bemusement as you stare at him in shock and horror.
Oh my God, Parker! I'm going to stumble forward in a very un-English gentlemanly way. Give him a hug.
Sir?
My God, man, don't scare me like that.
Sorry, my cat is trying to move my light.
I go to, are you sure you're okay, old boy? And I'm sort of like patting him on the belly and stuff where recently he'd been shot. So,
any heartburn?
You okay?
Well, I mean, as you know, I do have a slight bit of gout, but it's not seemly, sir. Mr. Connelly, we've not been formally introduced. A cigarette, and he sort of reaches into his inner pocket and brings out a cigarette, like a cigarette case, and offers you one.
No thanks. They'll put you in an early grave.
Goodness gracious, Parker! As a reward, allow yourself a short break. Did you enjoy it?
refresh your spell slots.
Parker offers you a slight grin. He knows this joke well. And gives you the correct amount of amusement.
just so. Richmond is incredibly relieved by this and is going a little bit weak at the knees and is going to lean against a convenient surface that might be nearby.
Jack Connelly, I think, is going to kind of shake, very confused, shake his head, going, right, don't know what's going on there. Parker, do you see anyone pass by this way? We saw someone kind of scurry off into the woods with what looked like a body, or like a sack or something. No one's passed you while you were waiting out here, no?
It's funny you should say that, sir, but while I've been out here, there's been excuse me, number of very strange things. I mean, the weather itself is mostly unseasonable. I swear I saw an eagle or something crossing the sky before, much bigger. But yes, just a few moments ago, when I was getting out the car with the umbrella for Mr. Green and yourself, I did see someone heading into the forest over there with a refuse bag or a sack of some sort over their shoulder.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, the rain and the bird, not so weird. We are outside, but thank you for the information on the fella. Maybe we should go check Richie, friend. Can I call you Richie? I'm Jackie and Richie. We're quite a duo. How about we go check out what's happening with this ne'er-do-well?
My boy, after the last 10 minutes, Richie is the least of my concerns. Yes, very well. Let's go and find out. By the way, where's Bessie?
Can you take care of Bessie? Because I'm going to hand him the shotgun, which is still, when you unload a shotgun, you cock it, and Dave will kill me for not knowing this, but cock it in half, whatever.
Break it. It's definitely one of those kind of clay pigeon shooting kind of things.
Yeah, so hand it to him with clearly it's unloaded. Said, can you mind her, and we'll give you this, which stays in your pocket unless we see a deer and or a criminal.
You don't have to tell me twice, my boy. And he'll take the shell and put it in his pocket.
Okay. I mean, there's some. It's New York. There's some bad deers in this neighborhood.
So Parker is following you with the umbrella, and he's sort of. Do you wish me to accompany you for a journey through the woods, sir, or would you prefer? I could go grab a larger umbrella or another shells. He's obviously a bit taken aback by the affection you've showed him.
Yes, please, Parker. If you can bring the large umbrella, the really large one, and some extra ammunition, and we'll all go together, I think.
Of course, sir, of course. And he scurries off towards the car, and I think we'll leave you there as we return to our party in the snow, because when we left you, you'd opened the door of the library, Charles Keene, to find yourself facing a snowy landscape, although it is still a foyer, it does look like a forest. And facing you is a large wolf, although much larger than any wolf you've ever seen or read about.
So I would like to roll sanity.
Please do, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I reckon I should probably get one of those in there too.
Yeah, let's start with courage.
So, I've rolled a 28 against my sanity of 60, as everyone might be shocked. I've got 60 sanity. It's more than I've ever had.
Wow, yeah. So, I mean, you still lose one sanity, and for a moment, you kind of heart skips a beat, and you clutch your chest. But you're still in the room. There's still a wolf in front of you. You kind of blink again. It's still there. Niall, how did that sanity roll go?
Let's see now. I got a 19 versus also 60.
We're passing all our rolls.
You do. You lose that one sanity. Is you try and disbelieve what your eyes are showing you, but
Dear God, what? I rub my eyes and then. What? Close the door. There's a goddamn wolf out there.
And I slammed the door.
So you kind of growl. It kind of growls and launches itself towards you, and as it pads through the snow, getting faster and faster and faster, it leaps towards you, and you slam the door. But there's no thump. There's no sound.
Very impressive stopping ability.
What did you see, sirs? What was it Kenneth?
A wolf.
Most certainly not. It looked like a very large wolf.
Yeah, not like any wolf I've ever seen before.
Very large.
Diana sort of walks on and goes, A wolf. You're saying there's a wolf in the corridor.
That's what we saw.
Yes.
I don't believe you, gentlemen. You're absolutely crazy. A wolf. I don't. Nonsense.
And Dr. Quinn goes to open the door.
When we look down,
And I
is
take a
this
step
stone
back.
before?
I'm going.
Yeah,
And he opens the door and just disappears through into darkness. There is no snow and no sound of a scream or anything.
I look at Charles and I'm like,
So, but you saw it too.
yes,
So it's gone now.
something's not right here.
Yes. Clearly not.
I look back at the other two to see if they are reacting in any way at all.
No, they're all kind of just following Professor Quinn out, and he's sort of giving out advice like,
Right. Well, I assume we need to split up. Diana, why don't you come with me and we'll take the second floor above us.
So what exactly were you a professor of, Dr. Quinn again?
he is also a professor of physics, although he's much more hands-on, so he teaches rather than... to your knowledge, he's not done anything notable in his research, if he does any research at all.
Okay, right. Well, Dr. Quinn, I think splitting up is a very silly idea. And I understand that you perhaps might think that it will help us cover more ground. But if it was simply a hallucination that we saw a wolf, then it was felt very real, and I'm scared. So please don't leave.
So do you want to give me a persuade roll?
No, it's charm.
Or
I've got charm.
Charm, fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
That's 46 against 60.
Nice.
He sort of looks you up and down and goes,
Yes, well, maybe you two shouldn't be left alone. Claire, why don't you join these two chaps and head up to the second floor with her?
Yes, Elizabeth, please.
I shuffle back into the library and I look around the fire and see if I can find like a poke or anything like that. Or some
Like
kind
a
of
poker
metal
or something?
Yeah.
yeah, give me a luck roll. See if there's anything weapon-like there.
All right. 46 versus 55. So
Success, yeah. So there is a number of items by the fireplace. There is a long brass poker. There's one of those kind of little brushes and a spade.
I take the brush.
Yeah.
I take the brass poker.
Okay. So armed, you head up the stairs. When you said Elizabeth, Dr. Keene, Claire just sort of looks at you completely blank-faced.
I think having no reaction is very suspicious. Claire.
I walk over and I kind of like, Charles, leave the young lady alone. Claire, I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. And I kind of walk out the door, and as I'm walking past Charles, I give him a wink, like, keep it up, but also I'll play the good guy here.
So we're doing good cop, bad cop. Yes, yeah, very exciting.
So as a big group, you sort of head up the stairs, and it's pretty dark. I mean, do any of you have a torch or anything like that?
I've got one in my car. I wouldn't have brought it in with me though, because I didn't expect it to be a medieval, no electricity house that we're in.
There
I
is
could go out and get it.
Where you had your the parlor where you had sort of drinks and things, there were a few of those lanterns, and there's also some candles, the ones that you like with a little holder that you could hold up, or you could head out to the car if you wish.
So I'll head down and I'll grab some lanterns. Why don't you get your torch from the car?
I'll get my torch from the car, yeah, and we'll meet back at the front door.
Yes.
As soon as possible. Let's not go wandering off idly, all right, everyone? And I look.
What's that sound? I better go investigate.
Are Quinn and Diana gone already?
Yeah, so you head off. So John Roy heads off to the outside into the rain alone. Dr. Quinn and Diana have grabbed themselves two of the lanterns, the hurricane lanterns, and have headed upstairs, leaving Professor Keene alone with Claire. And I think we're going to switch the camera over to Richmond Green and Jack Connelly as you make your way through the woods. Obviously, the going is quite tough as Parker is holding an enormous sort of golf umbrella above you, but obviously the path is quite thin and difficult to navigate, and he's really struggling to keep it above you, and he's constantly apologizing and probably knocking a lot more water from the trees above onto your heads than actually blocking the minimum amount of rain that can make it through the thick foliage.
As we're passing the stable, like to the side of the stable, I know that there's like where the firewood would have been chopped and kept. Can I pick up like the hatchet that's left there?
Yeah, sure. Give me a luck roll to see if there's a nice hatchet there.
Absolute monster.
If you prefer, because I know that you've only got.
I lived
12
in the house,
luck.
so I know it's there.
So how about a spot hidden roll? Would that be more?
That's yes.
Yeah, I forgot Mr. 12.
I mean, let's look and see if it's hanging. Let's see if it's hanging on the hook that Benji used to store the hatchet at.
Sure, yeah.
Versus 40. I rolled a 43. I will spend 3 more luck.
I mean, or if you'd like to push the roll somehow, and obviously you've kind of run over to the darkness and you're sort of scampering, like feeling your way through the log pile.
As a man who has pushed many a roll against you, spending 3 luck to have my 9 luck is as. I'm going to go to 9 luck. I'll take it. I'll take it.
So you do find
hilarious if you said there's no hatchet there.
There's no hatchet there, sorry. But you do find so with a successful spot hidden, not only do you find a hatchet, but you also find a darkened area of the ground. Now, something I mistakenly didn't ask either of you for was what you're using for light.
My mind. I would grab there'd be like an old lantern or like oil burning lamp in the stable. I'll grab one from that as we're passing.
I mean, the stable is old and dilapidated. Sure, you could say there was a couple of lanterns.
I'll take an electric hand flashlight if that's better.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So by the flickering lights of this hurricane lantern that you're holding aloft, not only do you find this sort of ancient, rusty hatchet, but you also see the ground just sort of behind the stable, out of sight from the driveway, is a darkened area of soil where something has been burned. There's wood, obviously, but there's also what seems to be scraps of burnt clothing, almost certainly women's clothes. Although with the damage that's done and the poor light and the terrible rain, that's you can't tell any detail. You sort of pull up a scrap of something looking rather expensive and silky.
Richie, buddy, I don't know if whatever happened earlier is the first murder that's happened here. This looks like someone's clothes has been burnt.
Well, let's not get carried away calling it murder. I mean, he's perfectly fine. You can see. So what's this? What's something been burned?
I mean, I can't be sure, but it could either be a winter dress, or like I'm not a fashion guy. I'm like I said, an actor, but I don't know. You burn clothes outside. Someone's carrying some sort of sack that's body-like. I mean, you saw that person go into the woods as well. So did Parker there. I mean, I don't know. Let's just be safe and like, just keep your eyes peeled. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a good idea, Jackie. Jackie. I think it's a good idea. But there's something very strange happening in here. I don't like it one jot. So let's stick together, shall we?
Yeah, sure. I mean, is he going to be coming along with an umbrella? I'm not sure how practical that is.
Oh, of course. We don't want to get wet, do we?
I guess.
Oh, you're
not.
saying he should put it away. Do you think it's going to be a bother? Do you?
I mean, yes. I don't know. Yeah, pretty much. We're going to be going through like the woods here a little bit. We used to be here when we were kids. Like he'll be rattling branches, knocking like big droplets of rain off, making noise. And like I said, there's some man out here hanging around this old estate. Who knows what he's up to and what he wants?
You do make a good point. Parker, could you get my hat, please?
Oh, of course, sir. So, do you want me to keep the umbrella? And he sort of glances up at this huge sort of golf umbrella.
Maybe go for a smaller one.
Yeah. Have you got a small brolly, maybe, rather than a full umbrella?
Yes, perhaps just a small one for yourself, or maybe you want to wear your own hat. You see,
He's one of those hat umbrellas.
Obviously, you do, just to make a quick suggestion, I do have a Macintosh in the car and a pair of galoshes.
Oh, that'll be perfect. Absolutely.
A galosh sounds delicious. What's a galosh?
I don't know what either of those things are.
Sorry.
I know what a Macintosh is. I don't know what a galosh is.
Wellington boots, sir.
Like the estate. I know what a Wellington is. It was named after some ship battle. The Wellington boat, yeah.
So, obviously, Richmond Green is attired in brand new galoshes and large yellow Macintosh, and heads off into the woods. Am I right? With Jack Connelly.
Yeah,
you will be offered there is a smaller umbrella if you wish to take it.
It's up to Parker. I'm not taking any umbrella. It's up to not Parker. Richie, if he would like to have his personal umbrella as opposed to his functional dress umbrella, I guess.
Richmond's going to be putting on a flat cap that's got a nice tweed pattern to it, to keep the rain off. For Parker, I imagine he'd have his own, like a very small umbrella to himself, and be kind of following in the awkward fashion, like the butler following Lara Croft, in Tomb Raider 2.
Or Lurch from the Addams Family.
Yeah, sort of like long suffering. So I'll let him concern his own business. He's a grown man. He can deal with himself. But for the two of us, I think we're now prepared for finding out what's going on out here.
Okay, so mere moments later, as you disappear off into the darkened forest, Professor John Roy emerges from the house and rushes over to his car. What were you looking for, Niall?
I was looking for a flashlight.
Okay, so you reach into your car. You go to your car and you notice that you're pretty sure that you left it locked and closed. But when you kind of open up the boot, the hood of the car, it's just open. It just opens as if someone's already unlocked it. And all of your clothes and possessions are just like all over the inside of the car as if they've been searched. And I guess the same with Professor Keen's.
What the hell? He's thinking like maybe for some reason Jack and Richmond might have gone through the car, but I look through for the flashlight. I'm kind of like not too concerned about this right now. Does he see anyone around?
There's no one around, and the storm is really bad, and you're already soaked to the bone. You find your flashlight. It's there. Turn it on. Working fine. But there's no one else around that you can see.
It shakes his head, like grunts, and just slams the trunk, and then runs back into the house.
So and for our final scene, before we finish the code for tonight, you run back into the foyer where you'd left Professor Keen alone with Claire. And they are gone. Thank you so much for playing, and thank you everyone in the audience for watching. I hope you very, very much enjoyed the code. We will be back next week with the next exciting recording, and we will be hanging around in the Twitch chat, certainly for a few minutes afterwards, to discuss, anything you'd like, anything you want to ask. My name is Joe Trier. You can find me on Twitter at HWR Podcast. You can find many of us, all of us, on our main feed, where we will soon be releasing the code as a fully produced podcast. And there's lots of other Call of Cthulhu there, Pulp Cthulhu, Curse of Strahd, D&D, and some other games as well. Owen, again, thank you so much for playing. It's been an absolute blast to have you on. Where can people find more of your work?
If you want to find more of me, guys, I'm at How We Roll Own on Twitter. I'm also a streamer here on Twitch, playing just silly games and stuff at How We Roll Own as well. I will be going live whenever we stop having our chat after this, so you can come ask me any questions or question my stupid decisions in game, live and in person. And that's where you can find me. You can also join our Discord, the How We Roll Discord, which is pinned at the top of my Twitter. So you should drop me a follow on Twitter.
Nice. Niall, again, thank you so much for playing. It's been an absolute blast to have you on. Can people find you anywhere? Do you have anything you'd like to share?
As always, if you listen to the podcast, you can always find me on the How We Roll Discord. Other than that, I've been trying to get more active with my my everlong battle with Twitter. I'm HWR Niall on that, so you can find me. You can find me on Twitter too.
Amazing. Corin, again, I absolutely love your characters. That's every time we play, you come up with a new voice. It's amazing. How can people find more of you?
If people want to find more of me, they can find me on Twitter at Curran_J. That's KURAN_J, as in the letter. Or you can find me on Twitch. I stream Mondays and Fridays for just 3-4 hours, just hanging out. That's twitch.tv/KURAN. There you go.
I know. He's like, I got more stuff, but no, let's go back and hit it again.
There we go, yeah.
It's well worth doing it, guys. He's a better streamer than me, but I can remember my plugs.
Yeah.
And also,
not the word thugs, though.
No. I said like, oh no, I fucked this.
and also, Curran is a player on our two-headed serpent called Pulp Cthulhu campaign with the ever popular Ethan and
I
Gray.
play Ethan, the South African big game hunter, and I like to shoot things and punch throats. It's good.
He's also part of the Antwerp.
Our last
The Antwerp,
player. Our last player tonight. Thank you so much, Duncan, for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Where can people find more of your things?
Oh, thanks very much, Joe. It's been a lot of fun. This is the first time for me doing a role play game on a show like this. Normally, I go around doing videos for painting miniatures. So people can find me on Twitter. I'm at Two Thin Coats. On Instagram, I'm Duncan J. Rhodes. And there's a YouTube channel and a website that I run with my good friend Roger, who is the producer for all the videos we make. And it is on YouTube, Duncan Rhodes Painting Academy. And for our website, it's duncanrhodes.com. And it always sounds super weird to me using my name as an email address. It's Roger's idea, not mine. Who is South African, by the way? You do a really good impression.
Thank you.
I bet you Roger won't think so.
Well, I wonder. I'll ask him.
And we must thank and I guess introduce the man behind the incredible production we've done tonight. Aram, are you able to speak? And
Hi.
Hey,
There's a boy.
Hey!
that was amazing. Thank you so much for putting this together.
So good.
It's been
My pleasure.
incredible.
My pleasure. It was fun.
And
We've
where
been
can
fantastic.
people find more of your stuff?
You can find me online at Vartian, V as in Victor, ARTIAN as in Nancy. And you can also find my other shows, God's Fall, Escape the Union, a bunch of other shows, all in the God's Fall universe at godsfall.com.
Amazing. And as I said before, we will be back next week at the same time, the same place, with the finale of the Code. This will all be brought together into a magnificent ending, I'm sure. I have no idea how right now, but there's definitely a plan, I believe. So over to the audience. We'll be around for at least a few minutes if anyone's got any questions. I need to log on to Twitch to see those, so I'll hand over to Owen, I guess.
Yeah, if you have any questions, guys, in the chat, throw it out. I'm going to start some conversation with the guys beforehand. So what I saw during chat was people talking about the music and effects and everything around, which we couldn't hear. How stressful was it to run the show?
It was, it wasn't that bad. It was all right. I mean, it was a little bit in the beginning, but once it got rolling, it was easy. If I was running the game, it would have been hard. It was nice not to have to run the game and just focus on this.
Yeah, that's when Aram GMs a show on this channel, which he's going to do at some point. It'll be interesting to see if or how he self-produces, and will he trust one of our dum-dums to Curran? Curran is a good streamer.
We will see what happens.
I don't know, Duncan. What about you for your first time on the show. How did you find it? Or first of all, well done as well.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was really fun. So I've been playing role-playing games for years. Cthulhu, I'm still fairly new to, but I've been listening to your guys' podcast for a while now, and I've been really enjoying it. It's actually quite weird to be talking to you rather than just listening to you.
That never gets easier. As I guess in other shows I listen to, it's like, yeah, I know I'm a podcaster, but it's still weird that you people aren't, in my ears on a run or something.
Yeah, just having a conversation, but now you're part of it. I thought it was really fun. I've always enjoyed doing role-play games, and I find it's a really fun kind of personal experience. So I hope all the people listening got some of this, that kind of follow the story through as well, and it becomes a very sort of tight-knit joke, really, all the things that go on. I think it's like a very personal kind of form of theatre, I think. I had a great time. I thought it was really fun.
Play your cards right, and you could be the next RM. He turned up for an hour's worth of games and hasn't fucked off in 2 years.
You can't get rid of me now. You're stuck with me.
We do have a question from chat. I guess Curran and Niall, I'll let you two guys start. What do you think is going on? Have you any idea what's happening? Any theories?
No idea. Absolutely. I think
I don't
he's
trust.
opened up some portal to some other realm, and weird crap is going down right now.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. I mean, the moment you mentioned Mist, and I was just like, oh, I've seen that.
I got. When you mentioned the Mist, Joe, I had. Just,
that movie ended well.
PTSD.
If I remember right.
Didn't it? Wait, no, it did not really.
I was with Niall and Verlecki, and
just
from Chris
the Mist.
Strad.
I was like, oh no, not the Mist again. Mist again.
In terms of my character wouldn't have an idea what's going on, but from what I've heard in game as a player, there's some sort of, I would assume, upside down, inverted world type thing your man has trapped himself in.
And the front door is related to it somehow.
Yeah. The front door is a portal.
Yeah, we're just hopping in and out like what?
You fell for my dastardly plan. You went through the front door.
Oh no, he got us.
The perfect trap.
Willie is some sort of illegal wolf breeder on the side. That explains that plot, which I haven't got an answer to.
I think Willie is one of the brothers, and I'm feeling pretty confident that Claire is Elizabeth, whoever the hell that is.
I should probably say there's one brother. So it's just one brother. There's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was brothers.
No, I think that was a misread.
Well,
So there's
you know
just
what?
one brother.
Roy,
Yeah, how confident are you in that now?
letter, so
And then I tried this impersonation because it was written in chat, right?
Joe is still messing with everyone's story and theories. Even this, is that meta? Isn't it meta? Is it true? Is it a lie? Joe's always working, guys. Joe,
Come here to chew bubble gum and punch throats. And I'm
you
all
pointing that
out
out makes me
bubblegum.
more confident that it is Elizabeth.
Jeff Newcomb.
So, Joe, the question came from I never know how to pronounce your name. Carohemd, is it? What book is this from? This scenario.
Oh, so this is from Chaosium's brand new Mansions of Madness Volume 1. So they've taken the original, I think it was published in the 90s, and they've taken a whole load of scenarios from that and updated them. So they've got Mr. Corbett, which I believe we definitely have played, and Cracked and Cooked Months, which we've also played. And then they've added 2 more scenarios to it. So the Code is one, and the other one is called something like the Memphis House, or something like that, which looks really cool as well. There may be a 5th one as well. But it's out now on the Chaosium store. I don't think it's out in hardback yet. I think you can only buy the PDF, which is what I've done. And this is Volume 1. So I've heard, in fact, I know there's a Volume 2 coming out really soon too, which sounds cool.
Yeah, and if you need ideas on how to run Call of Cthulhu scenarios, we have a whole 2-year back catalogue on howweroll.com.
About 5.5 year back.
Well, yeah, I suppose, actually. I stopped playing Call of Cthulhu after 2.5 years. They continue on without me. That doesn't exist to me, too, editor. It's a great series. There is a question from whoever was running Ain Slade, another Call of Cthulhu, friends of the show. Why did you choose a scenario with so many NPC voices for your first stream, Joe? Good job.
Oh yeah, I just thought that would be fun and not at all stressful to try and have a room. Hey, here's a room with 4 NPCs, all with very different voices. I think I tend to like scenarios that have lots of NPCs. I feel if you don't have an NPC, I find it really hard to bring it to life, and I tried to choose scenario NPC voices that I can do quite easily. So I can move between kind of like a sort of Southern Belle accent and a kind of, musty old professor. And I tried doing the Russian one though, where it failed. But I can move between the accents in theory quite easily. And I thought it'd be funny if I
Just just don't do a whoa and then you're okay.
Yeah, because you get stuck in that forever.
Whoa.
No, don't
So-
do it.
Joe, Kaldak has a question of how surprised are you that people have survived to this point, or that everyone has survived?
Like, I think anyone who's listened, anyone who's read the code, it is pretty deadly. I don't think we've entered that part of the game yet, although I guess there was potential. Shotguns coming out.
Yeah, someone died tonight.
Yeah.
I think potentially next week's is going to be much, much more deadly, or at least, like, I guess everyone could come out of this, alive and well.
Oh, there's an example of it not happening anyway.
Yeah, Joe just jinxed it.
Can't
That's
imagine
it.
anyone wanting
Maybe-
Professor Charles Keene to be dead. Be very silly.
So then, the next question is to have any of the regulars, I guess any of the players, changed how they build their characters for this scenario. What stats have you used that you wouldn't have used before? Do you want to go first for that, Duncan, I guess? Even though I haven't played much Call of Cthulhu, we'll give you the first shot at it.
Well, this is the first time of me playing an actual PC for it. This was just because my character was kind of like the rich investor and everything. I went straight into that sort of stuff. Aside from that, I was like, oh, well, he's going to be rich, living in England, not doing very much. So what are his hobbies? Hunting pheasants. All right, let's go for all the stats related to that. So that's kind of like what the driving thing was about him.
If you can hunt a pheasant, you can hunt an old one.
Exactly, yeah. And apparently, you can hunt butlers as well. He's got nothing when it comes to all the science and stuff like that. So going forward, we'll see how useful he is. But part of the fun is like having a character presented with a situation, just see what they do, whether they're good at it or not. So what he is though is a lot older than any other character I've played before in any other role play game. So it's a bit it's interesting playing an old gentleman. And not rushing around and stuff.
I think you got that across pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely immediately started being ageist as a character to you and thinking you were incompetent at everything you did except murdering people. Niall, what about you for your character? How would you build different? You've only played, I think, is it 3 scenarios? Is your third scenario?
I've only done Toth and the space between. So,
Yeah, third scenario.
Well, my character's older, and also, yeah, he's not an investigator. So I went for a professor kind of character this time. So it's kind of different. And I've actually done a character voice, which is something I don't usually do either. And if I do, it's usually me slightly different rather than entirely different. So, yeah, it's been fun. I think it'll get very interesting as we move along, considering all of you guys have friends, even though Curran's or Charles's might be the evil person. I'm alone in the lobby now by myself. So we'll see where that goes in the next session.
What about yourself, Curran? I don't think any of your characters have ever been anywhere similar, but
No.
answer the question as best you can.
What was the question exactly?
So, did you change anything about how you created your character this time? Is there any stats you have spec'd out that you haven't used before?
There were certain things that I felt would be needed. So, psychology, physics. I don't think I've ever had physics before. Also, I haven't mentioned this, but my character has 80 in appearance. He is the most handsome man in that room. So
Not necessarily. I think I'm 80 as well, I think.
Is it?
Why
Damn.
did you all pick
I'm an actor!
attractive characters?
I'm an actor! I'm the George Clooney of my time.
I have 40 in appearance. My character's
So
You
I've
look
never
like a foot.
actually... I've never played as a character who was so handsome, I suppose, in role playing. But I wanted to like subvert that by having him just have a ridiculous voice, and then him be a bit clumsy but charming in that sense, like where it's like, oh, he's being genuine. That's the. So
Okay.
when I wanted to convince Dr. Quinn that to not split up, even though he did it anyway, asshole, I was I was like,
Queen guy.
I'm scared. No, stop. Basically, trying to,
Yeah, so like yeah.
It's a very different way. Like for example, this character's strength is 30.
Oh,
I
boy.
can't-
You usually play pretty strong characters, though, don't you?
Yeah. I try to go for the one punch, throat punch, see what happens. Just
One punch man.
roll the dice.
Well,
Your
I'll
character actually
call,
has sanity as well.
yeah,
Got
that's
a
true.
lot of sanity. We're all doing well.
I'll call myself out in. Well, first of all, I put it up on my Twitter. I rolled 3 1s on my luck roll, which is the lowest luck and possibly getting 15, and I've used 6 of it already. So I have no luck, which is what I'm used to because I generally have bad rolls that run out of my luck anyway. But I definitely will throw myself under the bus here, and I have throwing 20 extra points into fighting brawl, which I don't really have a backstory for, other than Boston is a tough town. Like, and that's really loose. Like, for everything else is like disguise, charm, fast talk, acting type stuff. Library use, because I grew up in a house with a library. But yeah, definitely just everything I slate Joe for on our show about being a power gamer and putting stuff in the stats I don't really have an answer, I did for the brawling, because I'm sick of dying in Call of Cthulhu, guys. Like, I'm really sick of dying.
I feel like you might be safer in this one.
Oh,
I feel
don't
like
say that. I've 9 luck.
I think I could be the one that bites the bullet this time. Maybe
There's no-
literally.
I know you've only played 2 Call of Cthulhu things. There's only one normally that dies.
True. There's usually more.
So, I think that's all the questions we have. Let me something. So, when does Ken come up as the Ken PC from
NPC.
the leader?
Well,
Pretty
I
good.
mean, there was a joke that obviously the Doctor is Dr. Kenneth, like Dr. Ken, but Ram is going to be playing, or is playing Ken at the moment. So unfortunately, there won't be a Ken voice from me.
I also loved Aram's reading of the letters too.
Yeah, it was great.
It was so
I was
exciting.
like,
for
what
that.
is this thing? I have to read a thing, and then just this voice comes, and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Joe asked me if I wanted to read the letter, and I was like, I do not want to read something out loud.
I most certainly do not.
No, just give me something to read, and I will go into camp and loud at any drop of the hat. I'm more than happy to.
We did get one more question, Owen. It was from
Yes.
the arm spike. Joe, could you give us an example of how an Irish NPC might sound?
Come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe.
Give it a
Listen,
go.
let's hear the
No
Irish.
pressure.
I think
Oh,
Owen
so-
dodged that one on purpose.
So maybe an Irish. God, what would it be? An Irish NPC would probably sound a bit like this. Is this all right as an Irish accent?
Well, you
better than
kind
what
of
you've
got
done
there at the
before.
end.
Oh, no. Or, he
Don't
sounds like
think-
Tom Cruise doing an Irish accent. That's what it sounds like. Sound like an Irish accent.
I resent that. It's Russell Crowe doing an Irish accent.
If anyone has seen Far and Away with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, that's who Joe reminds me of every time he does an Irish accent. Don't watch it. It's not worth it.
The chat appreciates it, Joe.
Yeah, and for the real Mr. Spike, who Niall butchered your name for, that's the actual person who asked the question.
Oh, all right, yeah. I read the real. All right, I don't know. I'm illiterate. Leave me alone.
This is why Niall didn't read the letter out loud.
Yeah, it would have been a different letter.
I think that's it from questions to the chat. Is there any final thoughts? We'll go around the table. What did you make of our first live stream of Does It Roll? We'll start with Aram, the man who made the magic happen.
I mean, everything worked, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
But otherwise than that, it was a good show. I really enjoyed watching. It was kind of neat to just be able to fall back, really listen, focus on the pacing, the timing, bring up the audio. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Amazing. And so around where will this be available? Obviously, I will edit up the audio and make it into a produced show on the How
Yep.
We Roll feed,
Yep.
howwerollpodcast.com, and on iTunes, Podcast Addict, or anywhere else. Spotify, it'll be on there too. But
All
is there
podcast
somewhere you're going to
catchers.
put the video?
Yep, it'll always be here on Twitch. We're going to make sure that they always stay live here. And we're going to be putting them on youtube.com/doesitroll as soon as we've got that set up. So very shortly.
We have the URLs. Don't try and snipe us.
That's right. We've got it.
Yeah, you had a new sneaky chat. What about yourself, Joe? How did you find it?
Yeah, it was good. I think first scenes were a bit slow. I was like, oh God, I thought this would take a lot longer. I was like, have I got enough content for 2 hours?
I mean, you were so
But,
calm beforehand. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, definitely. It went really well. I love all your characters. I thought it was really fun. I thought you brought loads more character and life into the story that I was trying to present. I absolutely loved it when you two went outside, and the whole scene with the shotgun was just fantastic and really quite spooky when the body disappeared like that. Very much fits in with the story, but obviously, couldn't have been planned in advance.
As soon as
Yeah,
Duncan said, I've got Bessie, I was like, oh, I know that's definitely a weapon. And I
Yeah.
go, side with him immediately.
Oh no.
I think my style of gemming, and I guess a lot of people's style of gemming, is I just put stuff out there, but I have no idea where it's going to go. So, I've got lots of ideas, and I've got lots of hooks, and I've got NPCs that I know, this is their motivation, this is what they want to do, and obviously I know the secrets of the house and the secrets of the story, but I have no idea how you're going to approach it, and obviously it's very much different to how I pitch it, but it's amazing, and you've done a great job taking us through it. I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen next week. So 8 o'clock, same time, same place.
Yeah.
I guess we'll throw it to Duncan next, the man of the extreme fails and successes. How did you find tonight?
I really enjoyed being a posh English gentleman, and I didn't expect it to all go so horribly wrong when I went and blew my butler away. I really like when like unscripted stuff like that happens, where there's no planning for it, and I like that Joe's laid back enough GM to kind of just roll with it, which I guess appropriate, I guess. But you just like let it happen, let the game breathe, and just kind of follow the plot on from it. And you picked out good opportunities for horror and mystery in there, which I really like. And yeah, I like it when unexpected stuff happens and when like you get critical success and critical fails at weird times.
Literally, that's all you roll. Critical success.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier with how all that panned out. I think that was really silly and really fun. Yeah, I always remember. Yeah, first time I went on a role-playing game on a live stream, and I killed my friend. Oh, whoops! But yeah, I thought it was great.
That's good stuff. Kern, your thoughts?
Oh, me? I thought it was super fun. Like, seriously. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I liked playing a character very different from me. Like I said, the character was very different generally, but I liked how confrontational I was being with the whole, like I took the cues off Niall calling her Elizabeth.
That was really cool.
That was
really
a lot of fun. Just being like, oh, yes, you're definitely Elizabeth.
Yes.
I'm sure of it. I really am.
I'm sure there'll be no consequences for being so frank.
Yeah, you're not. Your
I'm not
character
Frank.
isn't
I'm
currently
actually
missing.
Charles. Oh, yeah, it's going to be...
It's going to be a wild ride. First week of many.
First week of many, yeah. Looking forward to next week. I want to see what's happened. I like you're saying, yeah. I'm like, you're supposed to know.
You've played in games with Joe's DM before. You know that he can never predict where we're going to end up.
He doesn't know what we're going to do, but he knows what he's going to put in front of us.
The second he puts down one rail as well, we're like, Joe, it's so railroady. He left 12 hours, I have no clue what's happening.
The railroad isn't even finished being built. It's like, it's just a fucking piece of metal.
We're the worst players to play with. Niall, what about yourself?
What?
What are your thoughts on our first stream?
Can you do an Irish accent?
Yeah.
I can't do a forced one. I can just do my regular voice. I had a great time.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Oh, they're after me, Lucky Charms.
We can do that. That's our people. That's our culture.
Yeah, I think Lucky Charms are not our culture.
No, they're not.
I think it went really well. I had a great time, and I am very excited for next week to come ahead. I think it's just been the character interactions have been pretty fun so far, and I think it's just going to get more and more outrageous and out of control very fast next week. So it is one thing I have to say is I'm very disappointed that everyone succeeded on all their sanity rolls pretty much. And even
that was crazy.
Even when Duncan failed, he still only rolled a 2 out of 10. So like, it was, what's the point of even? Which
he only killed an NPC. How boring.
Yeah. We can definitely drop those numbers a bit more next week, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be straight. People notice who watch my stream. I am kind of stupid confident. I was pretty confident that it would go well. I faith in all of you people. But no, it went about as good as it could have went. Like, cheers to everyone who showed up. Like, fans of God's Fall, fans of the Two Thin. I should get this right. Two Thin Coats. Is that right, Duncan?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Thank God. I said it. I was like, oh God, I said it so confident. Please be right. Anyone who came from How We Roll, like, really appreciate it, guys. Like, the fact we've got over 100 in our first stream, averaging something like 50 viewers is insane and crazy.
It's huge.
Yeah, I definitely. We announced about Bartholomew Armand today. We've got other big announcements coming in the next couple of weeks. Follow us on Twitter. What I did realize is for next week we'll have a Discord set up that you can all join, which would be a bit easier, which we hadn't set up. There's so much social media out there; it's tough. But no, it went really well. It went really well. I didn't die. I didn't get shot. I genuinely thought I'd be like, "You have one arm now. Continue on."
Yeah, how we're going to tie this together in the 2 hours, that will be a challenge.
We've done bigger challenges.
Yeah.
There's the easy way out, which is everyone dies.
Just everyone dies, yeah.
Is that the easy way out or the how we roll way out?
Yeah. It's that, or you make
But
it
it doesn't
a
roll.
2-year-long campaign that never ends.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, strap in, Duncan. You're here for the long haul.
Endless horror of keep seeing this guy and chasing
Yeah.
after him.
So I think that's it for me. Unless anyone else wants to take over the hosting job, I just kind of wrestled away from Joe. But no, cheers, everyone here viewing and on the stream. Really appreciate it.
No,
Thanks very much,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.
Yeah.
Same
See you
time
all
next week, folks. I'll be on at How We Roll on Twitter, Twitch, even if you want to watch me.
Bye.
Bye.
That was awesome.
That was class, guys.